Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another KPC Live where we talk about the most recent and hottest Korean news, including entertainment and social. Today we have a lot of hot ass tea, starting with RM's take on marriage, which is stirring up the pot in Korea because marriage is a very sensitive thing over here nowadays, I would say. And we have the young 40 hate going on. You might be wondering what the hell is a young 40, right? But it's a social phenomenon that is in regards to people 40 in their 40s. Yes. So there are memes, there is teasing, there is mocking, there's a lot of tea over there. And we have another issue going hot and viral in Korea. In regards to a U.S. McDonald's restaurant actually being racist question mark over there towards a Korean, and that went viral over the internet this week. So you be the judge whether this is racist or not. It's hit the Korean news and it is brewing hot. So last but not least, we will cover the K-pop idols dark side or secret side. They have side gigs, side jobs out of their own profession, and an actual former idol, which pretty much had a big name back then, came out on YouTube and confessed and exposed, I would say, about these secret jobs that are happening behind the scenes. BTS. Yeah, so today we are going to talk about these kind of issues. Glad to have y'all here in the chat. Let me read some people. Let's see. Hello from New Jersey. It's 11:05 p.m. Norway 5 a.m. Appreciate you tuning in at that time. Hello, Feel the Vibe and Masspay Toyland. Hello, Broccoli. Mags. Tammy from Chicago. Hello. And NYC, hello. Seattle, okay. A lot of Americans in the chat. Lynn, Florida. Teresa from Oregon. Tamika from Ohio. Aaron. Minji. Anitra. Chanmar. Okay, great. Great, everybody. Feel the vibe. Hello from Canada. Great. So, yeah. Oh, wow. Texas, Indiana, 10:07 p.m. Okay. So great to have y'all tuning in. Don't forget to like before we go in and proceed to the episode. We only have 16 likes so far. More and more people are going to gather, but don't forget to like. And just before we go on, just to remind you, the hottest new account on the street is open and running. Just to remind you guys, go follow not just David, but Daily David Kim at Instagram. This is the account, and it's getting a lot of views and a lot of followers. It's only been like 2 weeks and 1,000 followers. Wow. Yes. Yes, my recent take on Korean English speaker in Korea. Okay, well, let's just watch this reel and proceed on into today's episode. So I found this gigantic banner saying coming soon. As weird as it sounds, this is real. Yeah, when I saw this, I was like, what? This is as big as a huge, gigantic wall in a commercial, a corporate building. And I was like, that cannot be real. Like, in the age of ChatGPT, Google Translate, all you had to do is like your bare minimum due diligence and spell checking. And they really, I don't know. Like, I don't know if that's actual, marketing. They're trying to just get some attention, or is that like a genuine mistake? Because like we're in 2025 and there's no excuse for putting up a flyer that big with two M's. And you saw my last comment over there, right? At least they got the O right. Imagine that being you. And it's a plausible scenario because Koreans, if the premise is they don't know how to spell coming soon in Korean, could be a Cumming. So yeah, okay. I don't know, right? Exactly, Ryan. You thought the same thing. We all have like-minded minds. Yeah, but anyways, I upload like funny skits like that. I upload, introspective point of views. I uploaded a piece about loneliness. That's getting a lot of engagement. I guess a lot of people are lonely out there. So we got our backs for each other, right? Is it a telecom company? No, it's a cafe that's just about to open, and they've hung up that banner for a while. I need to check it out. I need to follow up on that. Coming soon, place. Caught your attention, work for them, I guess, right? All right, we're nearing 100 people. The live stream is warming up. So let's just go on into our first news. So I'm going to go by order of, I guess, lukewarm to boiling hot tea. So first off, let's start with the U.S. McDonald's racism. Oh, I guess this is pretty hot, but yeah, let's go on with this one. Hello, Rachel, in the chat. Okay, let's go on into the first news. So what is going on? You can see over here, KBS News has reported about this already. And in this Korean subtitle over here, what it is saying is they haven't been giving us food for over an hour. McDonald's racism controversy. That is what's happening, and I don't know why, but I just tapped my mouse and it's now malfunctioning. Let me try to get it back on the screen. I have no idea where the mouse is right now. Wait. Oh yeah, my mouse is back. Okay, so yes, this is a nationwide event now. It's been being covered by KBS, JTBC, east to west, south to north, everywhere, all over the place. I don't know if you've heard of this controversy yet, but okay, this McDonald's restaurant was allegedly being racist to a Korean customer. So let's find out what happened. So it's this person over here. Her at is ISTP girlfriend. I think she likes MBTIs. But this person who I guess lives and works in the US went to this McDonald's and she experienced something like this. So let me break it down step by step. So she faced discrimination at McDonald's. She and a friend ordered around 4 p.m. on a weekday in a small upstate in New York City. And later it was identified as a place called Rochester. I don't know where that is. But the restaurant was not busy. That's the point. And their foods didn't arrive even after 70 minutes. 70, not 17. You got to get that right. 70. During that time, imagine in a McDonald's. It's a fast food restaurant and your food doesn't come out in 70 minutes. That's crazy. I would just have already, made an outroar out of that. But during that time, the people who came later got their food first. So something's fishy. Something's not right, okay? She asked the staff about her order 5 times. So it's not like she was just sitting there being a helpless soul. She actually went to the reception and said, where's my food? 5 times. And each time they smiled, according to her, and said, it's coming soon. So she finally left with no food at all because she was pissed, okay? And as she walked out, she claims that she says she heard laughter from the kitchen and a worker saying, they probably will not come back here. Ha, ha, ha. And she cried afterwards. So she experienced all that, and she posted this experience on her Instagram, and it immediately went viral, and she called it a new kind of racism. We'll debate whether if it's new or not, but I guess it was a first for her at least. And she said it wasn't a slur or anything. It wasn't being ignored. It wasn't being called or them splitting their eyes or whatever. It was being ignored on purpose. That's what she's claiming. And she also said the town has a very small Asian population, under 5%. And that this was the second similar incident she experienced since she moved there. So I don't know. So far the situation seems plausible enough. She went to a fast food restaurant. All the other customers were getting served. She asked 5 times. They kept on laughing and smiling at her and saying like it's coming soon. And then after 70 minutes, it didn't come out and she just left. Totally valid, I would say. Dina, in the meantime, thank you so much for the 20 USD pizza. Thank you, hugs from near Korea University. All right, you're in Annam. Okay, enjoy your stay in Korea, I guess. Yeah, poor woman. I feel so bad. Yeah, it sounds pretty xenophobic. Not with my Korean friends in suburban Chicago. Okay. Actually, being ignored at a restaurant is a slow burn for sure. Oh, I like that word, slow burn. I haven't heard that, but I think it well articulates this situation at the moment. So let's go on and actually see her own video, like her own experience. So she posted this, and this is her YouTube, and you can go see.
지금 맥주를 시킨 지 40분 정도 넘었는데 아직도 안 나왔어.
She ordered her McDonald's, and it's like the 40 minutes point. It's already passed, and it's a weekday, so it's almost empty. People getting their food already. She's not happy. Her friend or boyfriend is asking for the 5th time.
시간이 기다린 것 같아서 그냥 집에 가려고요.
Yeah, she decided to go home, and she overheard somebody in the kitchen say they'll probably never order from McDonald's again. Lol. And she's crying and she's heartbroken. Yeah, I totally understand. She went home and like the sorrowness like just flows into your heart. Yeah, I mean, that sucks. Like you just wanted a happy meal. You just wanted a Big Mac and you don't get it, and after 70 minutes waiting and requesting for it, demanding for your food for over 5 times. It's not like she was just staying there put, like idle. Like she actually put in some request. Yeah, she is pretty, says Broccoli. Okay. Yeah, that's not the point here. So she posted this video with the title saying an innovative way, a new way of racism at an American restaurant. The post went viral. It got over 7.6 million views as of the news report on Instagram in one day, and that's pretty a big substantial number in Korean standards. And yeah, people were angry. They wanted answers. And what's happening over here now is that, okay, let's flip the screen. So I'm going to show you some comments over here. So these are all from Korean people, supposedly. These are all English translated. So people are like, let's report this to the head office. It seems like you can speak English, so why didn't you complain about it not coming out? These people are kind of misguided because like they probably didn't watch the video or read the caption carefully, or maybe it was edited afterwards. I don't know, but by at this time, like this person was commenting, this person didn't probably know about or didn't read the fact that she demanded her food 5 different times. And the Gusa94 says, I've experienced racism abroad myself. I threw drinks and potatoes all over the place. Good for you. Yeah, you need to throw a tantrum if you get treated like that. And I even had to poop on the toilet. All right. The best revenge. Yeah, those employees are gonna be having a shitty day after that. Okay, complaint to corporate for sure. You think that'll work? Yeah? At 30 minutes, I would be submitting a complaint to the McDonald's headquarters. She bought the unhappy meal. I would write corporate and complain. Okay, so let's see what she actually did. Upload this to the McDonald's headquarters and write down the branch, time and date, name of the employee who took the order, include the video, and file a claim to headquarters saying you're going to sue for racial discrimination. This isn't even a claim. It's almost like this is at a level where you could report it to the police. Where is this place? 6,000 likes. Go ahead and sue. America is a country that can be screwed over by things like this. This is clearly racial discrimination, and you must make it an issue. All the Koreans are uniting in the comments. Yes, and as you guys are saying, people are like, you gotta report it to the headquarters, you gotta sue. But if she threw a tantrum, she probably would have gotten arrested. That's a good point too. So it's very tricky for minorities or like powerless people that are not in their homelands. I think I heard that she has a green card, but she's not like a permanent resident or citizen. No, a green card is a resident. Like you can stay there, but like she doesn't have the citizenship. So yeah, I mean maybe she has her own reasons to be careful. And like what has happened afterwards is like she made an update about this video because it got so many likes and so many coverage from the media. So this is not an actual update. Like I don't know. Like this is ambiguous. So like I need clarification, but judging from the video, these are her demands, okay? Like if you watch the actual video, she says on the 8th, she uploaded the video on the 9th. She made a complaint to the headquarters on the 10th. She's still waiting. She hasn't gotten anything. There hasn't been any sign of recognition from the McDonald's headquarters or whatever. And so she posted this saying I think this is what I think, because like judging from the video she hasn't gotten anything, or maybe like separate from the video she has gotten this, but I doubt that. She's demanding, in my opinion, an official apology, a sincere apology from the owner or management of the branch. Second, employee accountability, investigation, and action against employees who responded discriminatively, and mandatory training, anti-bias, and customer respect training for employees. These are all like standard procedures that should be done after an incident like that. Like that's the bare minimum, I would say. Official apology, accountability, mandatory training, and then of course fair compensation. And we're not talking about, oh, we'll give you a McDonald's gold card or something that Bill Gates and Warren Buffett got. No, like they need to be compensated in the right amount of like damage they suffered mentally, and the image, like the image they have on McDonald's now is like so torn apart. Like they probably don't want to even step into a McDonald's in their remaining lives. So like in order to recover that, imagine how much you would have to pay like fair compensation for. So like compensation for mental damage and lost time due to not receiving food. Yeah, so I think it's totally validated, and the McDonald's headquarters HQ should definitely do something about this. So as you can see, the internet reactions, they're all riled up. Everyone's like supporting her in Korea. People are like stepping up, saying like, I'm a lawyer, you know, let's lawyer up and make this a big fuss. Let's make this a lawsuit. They've apparently already reported to the McDonald's headquarters and considering legal action. Yeah, so I guess this is a case in progress, and I think she is going to update these cases. But there have been testimonies in the comments of a lot of different Korean people living abroad in the US or in Europe or wherever else, saying that they've been ignored in shops while white customers were served first. Others got jokes that were feeling very hostile towards them. And yeah, like I mean, I know a lot of people, I know a lot of celebrities too that have been posting on the internet over and over, and like their experiences when they go to like a European restaurant and they're just sitting there. You know, like the European culture is like you don't like wave your hand. The cashier, what do you call it? The employee comes to you, the waitress comes to you and asks for your stuff. But while all the other customers are getting their orders and getting their food, it takes like 2x, 3x, 5x, even eternal like void. And if you go to like one of these restaurants, like you don't get served, you don't get your food. So like I think this is a form of racism. That is my conclusion as well too, because like it just does not make sense. It can't be a slip from the employee side. They literally recognize the problem by hearing the customer's demand 5 times, and they still laughed about it. And I am definitely believing her, because like she wouldn't out herself like this and go viral nationwide if she didn't have substantial evidence. A lot of people are pointing out that if she has a footage of like the whole thing, or like a receipt that gives you like, you know, the time she ordered and when she didn't even receive the food at the end of the day. So like if she has like a recording of the time she was staying there and the difference between the receipt, then she can prove she actually waited like 70 minutes. So that would be enough to start like a lawsuit or something. Yeah, so what do you guys think of this? What do you make of this situation? I'm looking at her IG now. Some people suggesting that she used TikTok to gain more traction in the US. That is a great idea too. Like she posted everything in Korean, I think. And I don't know if she has a TikTok or not. I think by the looks of her IG account, she is a short form Reels creator. So maybe I'm assuming she has a TikTok because I found her video on YouTube as well. But like, yeah, that's a good idea. Like, people are pointing out like you can make a big, you know, what do you call it? Like a big agenda on TikTok nowadays in the US. So yeah, that could be one way to go. So this is not even a story I've heard of in the US. Really? Okay. Well, I don't know. Like, I have lived in the US, but I was too young to actually experience this kind of thing and actually recognize it firsthand. Maybe my parents did, but that was way back in the early 90s. Maybe it was even more severe back then. But the fact that it's 2025 and something like this subtle racism, like ignoring customers at a McDonald's, stuff like this is happening is very sad. And I am not 100% sure on this, but in the comments I've seen a lot of people mentioning the ethnicity of the employees as well. And it was a specific ethnicity. I don't want to make this into like a racial thing, but a lot of people were disappointed saying that, oh, people who especially shouldn't be being racist towards another ethnicity is doing this. The fact that that's happening is sad. So we need to fact check on that, but I don't know. Maybe there was context somewhere that I missed. But yeah, no joke. I emailed corporate to complain about my local McDonald's not selling me BTS Tiny Tans, and I had a phone call from the franchise manager next day. Okay, McDonald's is actually working then. Yeah, like, you know, if they don't sell your Tiny Tans, you need to protest about that. McDonald's has terrible food. Yeah, I mean, it's fast food at the end of the day. Yeah, I don't understand why she allowed the wait. Well, she did demand 5 times. And also there might be all different factors. Like she might be an introvert. She might have not wanted to make a fuss, as Rachel said. Maybe she was afraid because of her status. Nowadays the climate over there, like ice raiding in and all that, and blah 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 blah. So, you know, maybe she was feeling intimidated. We got the footage of like the boy going the guy, the boyfriend, I was trying to say that. I don't know if he's a boyfriend or not. The guy going up to the counter and actually demanding their food and whatnot. So yeah, we don't know the full picture, but like she did indeed request her meal. I'm sorry for her. I've lived in Korea 8 years. I've never been treated mean. Oh, you lived in Korea 8 years. Okay, then I got it wrong. I thought you were a tourist when you super chatted back ago. But yeah, thank you so much again. I'm American and think this is certainly racist. Okay. I saw multiple races at that kitchen. Yeah, so if it was like a collective thing, then like, you know, shame on them. Shame on them. Teresa says more power to her. With the current xenophobic atmosphere trickling down must be stopped. And I wonder how BTS feels with being connected to McDonald's when they're doing this kind of crap. I mean, to be fair though, I know like it doesn't really look good in McDonald's like point of view, like in the point of view that we're looking at towards McDonald's. Like McDonald's image is really bad right now. But like it's like an employee thing, and definitely the employees should be held accountable, and probably the manager of that store, because if they were all in together, then it was like a collective thing. But like, can we actually slander McDonald's about it? I'm not defending them or anything. I'm just trying to be like this rational guy trying to detach. Like, not all McDonald's are like that, because like when I was in the States, I got good service, you know. Like I don't even know why they would go out of their way to like do this kind of thing. And in the meantime, Nightbot swooping in, enjoying the stream so far. Buy David a meal, maybe a McDonald's. No, actually, you know what? After this, I'm not gonna eat McDonald's. Let's go to Burger King. Let's go to Mom's Touch. Yeah, buy me a mom's touch for lunch. PayPal.me/KoreanPizzaclub over here. We got hot ass tea today, so if you want to support the channel, that's the best way to do. Let's see. This sounds really fishy. She's too pretty to eat at McDonald's. Okay, Broccoli is just like mesmerized by her beauty. I saw one of the comments or somewhere that she's like a flight attendant or something. So maybe that's why. The same thing happened to a Mexican YouTuber in Mexico in a Mexican franchise restaurant. I don't think it's related to racism. It's simply that the employees are not well trained. I don't know. Okay, there might be cases like this, similar cases in different scenarios, but I definitely think we can point it as racism because, you know, she demanded continuously 5 different times, and there were other customers that were apparently different ethnicities, probably white people, getting served, and they were the only ones not getting served. So if you look at that dynamic, I know I tried to look at this by afar and say, like, are there any possibilities that it's not racism at all? But the more I look into it, I guess, like, the more I contemplate on it, I do think it is a subtle form of racism, as she felt. Well, yeah. Yeah. So most McDonald's employees didn't even know there were special stickers to accompany the Happy Meal and never heard of BTS. Okay, well, that's bad training over there. Mom's touch is bae, yes. Yeah, most McDonald's are franchises but still have a code of ethics that is to be followed. Definite employee training is needed. Yes, as I said, all McDonald's have different ownership. Some are owned by different people and individuals, yes. All right, so, I mean, the discussion point for this is like, how common is this form of subtle racism in the US or other, you know, Western societies, I guess, where Asians are the minorities. In this kind of scenario, what would be the most efficient and safest way to respond? I don't even know. Like, if I were to experience this, I'm going to New York in 3 days. Like, what if I experience something like this? Like, should I just make a tantrum, make like an outrage or like outroar right at the spot and like yell at them, or should I make a scene, or should I just quietly make a complaint and call McDonald's HQ, or what should I do? Like, what would be the standard procedure or like the most efficient way to get my food served and also get compensation for this kind of treatment? I don't know. So you guys tell me, what do you think would be the best way? My idea is like, if they're ignoring you for over 70 minutes and you've been asking nicely, and maybe like you don't want to cause a scene because like you're just introvert and you don't want to be yelling at people, or maybe you're a person that you just can't do something like that under like pressure, or like you're intimidated. I mean, like, the only route to go is just to like file a report, right? Like, complain, and hopefully, I don't know about lawsuit. Like, because like this, the lawsuit applies here because she has video footage and she has like a receipt probably, and she also had an acquaintance that can testify for her. But like, if I were under that situation, if I wasn't recording, then it would just be swept under the rug, right? I couldn't prove it. I couldn't prove it. Yeah, so what am I supposed to do, right? Yeah, that's micro and macro aggregations. You are a wonderful Korean, so speak up. Yeah, and I have like good English skills, so I could definitely express myself. But I don't know, like, me as a human being, my nature is like pretty reserved. I'm, like it or not, like, introvert outside. I don't really like confrontation and conflict. I don't like creating scenes. So even if I go to restaurants and I see like hair in the soup or something, I just imagine like this old grandma in the kitchen. I'm talking about mom and pop shops, like, because I lived with a grandma. I have sympathy, and I feel like they didn't want to put it there in the first place. It wasn't intentional, and I don't want to mess with their like sales or whatever. While my mom is like, you know, like calling the waiter and saying like, what the hell is this? I want a refund, or like at least a replacement or something. But I'm like, Mom, let's not cause a scene, you know, like like people are watching, we can just take it out. But I guess this is a different scenario. I'm just telling you that episode because like I'm describing my nature. So like in that scenario, I think I would be infuriated and I would actually go at the servers or the workers over there. But like that's just me in general. So if you're an extremely introverted person, then that might happen, is just what I'm trying to say. Racism in the US is rarely subtle. If you think you're experiencing racism, leave, use the info in the receipt, and contact the business. Also, contact local reporters if they won't respond. Yeah, I guess like making it, reporting it to the media if the police doesn't, or the McDonald's don't respond or anything. Making a scene behind the scenes would be a good reason too. And as a lot of Koreans have been pointing out in the comments over there, they've been saying like America is the land of lawsuits. You just stepped on a gold mine, is what a lot of people are saying. Like you're like, oh, if this shit is real, you are going to earn a fortune. It's at minimum 10K, like for just making a deal. Like even without like the verdict or whatever, they're probably gonna offer minimum 10K for that. So like I don't know if that's true or not, but yeah, that's what I've been hearing about the free land over there. It is indeed like lawsuits after lawsuits. I did. Oh, actually, my boss. Who worked in NYC before at an advertising firm. Yeah, he apparently got a racial comment, or like I don't know, a slur during the COVID era because like he was Asian, and there was like microaggression, and he was getting like mistreated, like getting sidelined from work and like subtly being discriminated, and he stacked up and filed all the evidence, and then he just sent it to HR, and he said like I'm gonna sue you, and they didn't respond. So he said I'm gonna. They didn't recognize the situation. They said like blah blah blah, like for these reasons we can't define this as racist. And so he sued, and then he is getting paid to this day. He's getting checks coming in to this day, and this is a real story that I know. So yeah, all right, sue the hell out of McDonald's. Like I mean, they have the money, right? The Bard, hello, welcome. And yeah, she probably ordered the ice cream. Those things never. I don't think she ordered an ice cream. Okay. So yeah. Anyways, yeah. I mean, I guess the best thing to do is report complaint at the end of the day. Make it a scene on the media if that doesn't work out. What do you think McDonald's is going to do from now on? As a global brand, do you think they're going to recognize this problem? Should the headquarters, investigate this fully and apologize? Like, is this like a one staff issue? Like, I don't know what's going to happen afterwards, but like, I hate to like sensationalize someone else's like bad experience, and she actually like was heartbroken out of it. But like, people are actually, tuned in for the follow up of like what McDonald's is going to do, how they're going to deal with this, and like this might actually trigger like a huge boycott against McDonald's from the Asian community. Yeah. So I don't know, because like this is getting pretty big, and if, as someone said, if this goes viral on TikTok, the power of TikTok nowadays, if all the Asian communities unite and start saying stuff to McDonald's, they will have no option but to recognize it. Like just what we covered last week with LUK, with Rose, all the fans. Like nowadays, the numbers and the voices are power, and they get recognized, right? So I think McDonald's will send her an official apology and probably, I guess, give her fair compensation. Yeah. So yeah. I think that's what should be done and will be done. Yes. Okay. Yeah. But right. So that's the situation. Hope she gets her fair compensation. I'm sad that the fact that I mean it's maybe because like she didn't make a fuss, but like if there were other witnesses or bystanders there, I would think like America is a very friendly place. Like that's the image I got always. Like I've never been actually discriminated. Maybe it was just too short of a visit every time I went, but everyone was just very friendly to me. And I would think people would stand up for you. Like other customers, maybe like they might have been busy, but like if they actually heard what was going on, like they would have went to the counter and said like, excuse me, what are you doing over here? This young lady just ordered, and she said to me like she hasn't gotten her order for 70 minutes and she's been complaining to you 5 different times. I got my order, so what's the problem with hers? Like I would imagine a scenario where the other customers or other people would stand up for her, but you know, I guess like she didn't make a scene, or she wasn't too vocal about it. I don't know, like the exact context and scenario over there, but that's what I would imagine, because like I've experienced that a lot. Like I've experienced a lot of friendliness and kindness when I was in the States, but unfortunately, I guess in this situation it didn't apply. Yeah. All right. America's not friendly now? Really? Well, maybe I was in the good areas. Everyone was very friendly. There was like, yeah. I even asked this person. I guess this is like, this is totally separate from this situation. It's totally irrelevant and unrelated. But I was just at a Target and I was looking for like, what was I looking for? I think I was looking for some A1. No, I was looking for gravy, because like they don't sell gravy over here. I want my gravy, and I couldn't find it. Like I'm intelligent enough to go to the sauce corner and see all the A1s and all the honey mayos and mustards and whatever, and I wasn't seeing the gravy. I was like rubbing my eyes and looking from aisle to shelf to everything. I couldn't find the gravy, the goddamn gravy. And it was late at night. I think it was right before closing time, so there weren't a lot of employees around. I just couldn't find one. And with the jackets or whatever. And I think it was a Walmart. I don't know. Anyways, it's one of those like big things like Target or Walmart or whatever. And there there was this person right next to me, and the person seemed to be in a rush or something, and I was like, I'm so sorry to bother you. I know it's like near closing time, but I'm from Korea and I want to buy some gravy back to home. Like, can you help me? And she really just helped me out. Like, I think we were on the same playing field. She didn't have a clue where the gravy was too, and she was like, "Oh, that's so weird. Like, I swear, like it should be somewhere around here." And we were looking at the same place, and at the end of the day, we didn't find gravy. But the point is, she was being very, very nice to me. Yeah. Yes. So, yeah, she was being very great. Of all things, gravy. I know, right? I like my gravy, and I can't find gravy over here. I like my poutine, not the Russian poutine. I like my Canadian poutine, however you pronounce it. But like, there was this one shop in E-Town. There's one shop that sells poutine, and it doesn't open every weekend or whatever. Every time I go, it's closed. This is totally derailed from the subject, but like, yeah, I just love my gravy, and I can't find gravy over here, so I just wanted to buy a jar of gravy. But sad story, I didn't get to buy my gravy. So if you want to support me and buy me a gravy this time when I go to the States, please check out PayPal. All right. And was she an ajumma? Yes, she was an ajumma. Yes. So everybody's been asking me, why are you going to the NYC, New York? I'm going for the festival called Coom. I'm going there to document it, interview some people, make a vlog, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. Unfortunately, I won't be staying too long because like I have radio on next Monday, so I'm going in 2 days, and I'll be arriving on the 15th, the night of the morning or the night after midnight of the 15th, and be staying there for 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and then returning right straight ahead. So yeah, it's going to be a short visit. I'm staying at my friend's place. Yeah, and hopefully it's going to be a pleasant one. Like, hopefully I don't experience anything like this happening to me. Yeah, let me actually go to McDonald's and see how they treat me. I always like going to McDonald's in different places around the globe, but not particularly in the US, because like US is the home ground for McDonald's, and I would assume that there's nothing like really special over there. But if I go to like other places in Europe, like recently we went to Swedish McDonald's, and I like to go and see like what the localized menus are, like what kind of differences they have, what's the Big Mac price. You know, everyone knows about the Big Mac indicator, right? Like the Big Mac is the most accurate indicator of a country's cost of living. That's what they say, like the economists say. Like you go to a country, you want to see how high the living cost or the food prices is, go to a McDonald's, see what the Big Mac price is, and you can compare it globally. And that's like just the standard. A Big Mac over here, I don't know. How much is a Big Mac over here nowadays? I would say something around like $4 or something like that. Yeah, $4 to $5, right? Okay, so yeah, let me check out a McDonald's when I'm in the New York City. And let's see. Come to SC David. All right, the biggest South Carolina activist. You can get plenty of gravy here. You can't beat the Southern hospitality. The Asian population is steadily growing here too. That's great to hear. That is great. Yeah, I need my gravy. Yeah, let me look for some when I'm there this time. That will not happen in New York City. We would revolt after 15 minutes. That is so true. Yes. McDonald's in Ulsan is the best. That's very random, but like I would say all McDonald's in Korea is pretty top notch. The interior, the cleanliness, the friendliness, everything's and the speed, the sheer speed. Like it's supposed to be a fast food restaurant, right? Like the moment you click on it on the kiosk, it's out in like 2 to 3 minutes. I'm not kidding you. I was in a McDonald's like 3 days ago at night with my friend, and we were there like past 11 p.m. and we just went up to the kiosk. We ordered a big meal with some chicken nuggets and just came out like that. So yeah, Korean McDonald's are pretty good. Yes, make sure to like and subscribe. Okay, not America. America's a big continent. Yes, it is indeed. Yeah, I want to go to all 50 states. Oh, I want to go to Alaska. That just randomly came up in my mind. But yeah, anyways. Yeah, the US. Okay, I will say North America, excluding Canada, okay, if you want me to be very precise. Okay, I'm sorry about that. America, South America, Latin America, Mexico, everywhere, Brazil. Yeah. All right. Are we ready to go on to the next topic? How long have I been streaming so far? Let's see. And so far we have 223 people. Hooray! Please smash that like button if you haven't so far. We only have 69. What a ungracious number. Oh, what an unholy number on a Sunday. Please change that number for me, okay? Do me a favor and please subtract a like or whatever. I do not want to see that number. Okay, it's gone over to 70 now, so please smash that like button before we go. As we're talking, 240 people. More and more people joining. All right. Chamber, hello. David, what days I owe you dinner was think in Gufkum? But I guess I have to go now. I just told you 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, and those only 4 days. I don't know. The 15th is like all slated for my friend. I have to buy him like a good dinner. I'm thinking, a place called Kochi, near his place in Hell's Kitchen. It's like a Michelin 1-star. And it's like $150 per each, but I definitely owe him that much because like he's allowing me to couch surf at his place. And for 4 days in New York City, it's definitely going to be over than 150. Not being me calculative, but just me trying to show him genuine, gratefulness and appreciation, right? I want to take him to a good place. He probably craves a lot of Korean food and some good Korean food over there. So yeah, let me check out a Michelin store and actually maybe get some content over there. A local Korean flies all over to the New York City and evaluates a Michelin star Korean restaurant. Who am I to? But like I could just make a short out of it, right? Okay. All right. Alaska has very dangerous bears. Okay, I love to see them. Yeah, I love to see them in the wild catching salmon in the stream. Yeah. Okay. Nat, hello. Just got here. We just wanted to say I like your voice. Thank you so much. Would you like some ASMR like that? Am I scratching your ears? Are you getting eargasm? Okay. Hope you like that. Speaking of pizza, I just made some for dinner. Oh wow, I want some pizza. So it's 12:49 over here. I want me some pizza actually. Could I order pizza? Yeah. Just where Okay, I was just looking at the delivery ad and the PayPal just came through. A good fun snack or whatever from Tammy. Thank you for the PayPal pizza. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. So, after this news, let me try to order some pizza. All right? Okay. So, people are like, "Wow." Lol. No, please, no ASMR with your voice like that. I'm traumatized. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right, so let's go on to the next news. So this is going to be a funny one. Excuse me, I have to turn on the AC because it's getting pretty heated over here. It's pretty chilly nowadays in Korea. Like the autumn breeze is catching up. Okay, I'll never do that again. I won't. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. So we are going to discuss the young 40 phenomenon in Korea. So if you're in your 40s, beware, you will be triggered. Trigger warning, trigger alert, okay? If you're in your 40s, you might not even want to watch this because this might scar you deeply. This very bizarre phenomenon going on in Korea, the young 40 hate, is real, and I am going to dissect it one by one. So if you are in your 40s or maybe nearing your 40s, well, it's your choice to tune in. All right, so let's go on into this. Okay, so what is young 40? As you can see, here's some proof that it's not just some like phenomenon that's one part of the internet, just highlighting it like the 4B movement or whatever. Here comes the 4B queen again. But this is an actual nationwide discussion or meme that's going on. It's pretty much the hottest meme nowadays. I don't even want to call it a meme, but like it is what it is. It's internet culture. It's real life culture. People are speaking of young 40s behind their bosses' backs and people like that. So, okay, Tata is saying, I'm over 40, I'm ready. Okay, you're in for a ride. So, yeah, it's being reported by KBS. It's the keyword issue. And people over the 1990s, like if you're in your like 85s or over like, you know, something like that, you're probably in your 40s. I'm 92, so I'm 33. So plus 7 to that, minus 7 to that. So if you're born after 1983, that means you are over 40. So yes, anyways. All right. So yeah, if we go on, what do you make of this? Yeah, like what do you make of this picture in this video over here? This is okay, so let me break it down to you. So young 40 basically means, I mean, young 40 means young 40, but in Korean, you gotta pronounce it as young poti, because that's the Korean pronunciation. So the right way to say it is young poti, okay? It means young 40. It once praised stylish and active people in their 40s, okay? But in 2025, weirdly enough, the meaning has flipped. Now, some younger netizens use it to now mock people in their 40 somethings, and it's usually men, okay? It's usually men who try to look young. They call it cringy or out of touch. That's what young 40 is. The stereotype. Okay, so like, don't come at me yet, okay? If you're Korean and you understand the full context of what a young 40 is, don't come at me yet. I know there's more to it other than the appearance aspect of it, okay? So I'm just dissecting it step by step. So the stereotype is very specific. If you look over here, you think of a 40s guy, maybe not in shape. It's very hard to be in shape when you're in your 40s, right? To be honest, I'm even not in shape. But like, think you have like a Stussy or Supreme shirt with a big logo, and you have bright Nike Air Jordans. This guy over here is wearing the GD Paranoises, I think. and you maybe have like a trendy cap on, or you have like a flip back cap worn backwards. You see the orange iPhone over here. You have the newest iPhone 17, and this is called the Young 40 Starter Pack. Okay, we even have a starter pack meme for this. This is how it looks like. This is so hateful, okay? I mean, I'm chuckling because it is, I'm not gonna lie, funny, but it is kind of hateful, okay? It's being ageist. And this is the Korean Young 40 starter pack. Apparently, this is like the average look, average face of a 40-year-old Korean guy. They listen to MBC and JTBC and this guy, which is like on the very left side of the political spectrum. So I'm gonna go into that later. But like just looking at appearance, they have an iPhone because they want to look cool. They have snapbacks that say Marvel or whatever. They have AirPods, and they are very active on boycotting Japan because they want to look woke, I guess. They all go nostalgic over Slam Dunk, but at the same time, you know, it's very ironic because they boycott Japan, but they're nostalgic over Slam Dunk, and they buy Nintendo Switches because they want to be trendy, and they unite with feminism. So, you know, feminism has bad track record in Korea. So, yeah, they want to be sweet towards the girls, is what people are making fun of them are saying, okay? Like, I know feminism is a good thing, all right? So we're talking about radical feminism over here. And also, they go on Thread and Instagram, and they use the hashtag 소통, which means hashtag, oh wow, there isn't a way to put this in English, 소통. It would mean, directly translating it, it would mean hashtag connection, or talk, or communication, something like that. It's a hashtag Koreans use to make just like random people come to your page and follow you, but it says parentheses only women, and also they use these communities about like cars and like a very leftist community, and they use hashtags like 청춘 youth, fashionista, I'm different than other 40s. They dress like their GD and Gucci bags, and they're so sweet in Kakao Talk, like approaching these young women saying like 오빠가. So this is one thing I have to this is one thing I have to explain to you guys. Like, I might even clip this out and make it into a short, but I despise Korean guys that use the word 오빠가. Whenever I hear that, it gives me goosebumps and max level cringe. If you ever hear a Korean dude that's older than you referring to himself as an oppa, that is max cringe. Never do that, or never associate with a person like that, because, okay, that person really falls into the hateful standard of a young 40, okay? Like, I don't care if he's 30 or not. Like, if he says, like, 오빠가 해줄까? 오빠가, like, whatever, like, that means, it's like me, if you translate it into English, like, it's like me, oh, do you want daddy to do this for you? It's so cringe. Like, never associate yourself with a person who speaks in third person and says like, "Oh, 오빠가 해줄까? 오빠가 데려다 줄까? You want daddy to take you home? You want daddy to take care of the bill?" Imagine someone talking like that, not even in a funny way or in a jokish way, like in a genuine way, thinking that they're hot or like they're being cool or something. Like, a lot of Korean men do that, and I despise them. That is like the worst shit ever. Like, that is ew. Yeah, and they're probably ajashis. Anyways, like that was unrelated, but yeah. Anyways, going back to the young 40 thing, this meme grew very, very fast. So there is even like, you know, like I've explained all the stereotypical things. Like, this is the main. I don't know who made this caricature. I don't know who made this AI. So if you haven't noticed, this is AI. So this is how scary AI is. You might have thought this is real, but like for the folks out there that didn't realize, this is generated, but probably by Sora or Nano Banana or whatever. Yeah, but like this is the real version soda pop of young 40s over here, generated by this character over here. And yeah, on the SBS News, they are reporting about it. And this is like kind of mocking them, saying, "Oh, I want the cosmic orange color." So yeah, this I'm telling you, the stereotype has now consolidated, and there's even AI runway videos of middle-aged ajashis in over-the-top streetwear going down the runway, and let me show you how it is, okay? So this is, oh no, this is actually, okay, before we go to the runway meme, I've prepared a real life skit. This guy is actually in his 40s, and I actually follow him. He was pretty famous in Korea for imitating the KC Neistat style in vlogs, and he made like a, I guess like a black comedy skit about what a young 40 experiences in Korea. Like, he's actually a stylish guy. I would say he's very into tech. He uses like those electric boost boards. He rides like Teslas and I don't know, Range Rovers, and like uses the orange iPhone, and like he is pretty, I would say, trendy. And I actually saw him in person, and he's a really nice and cool guy. But now, because he's in his 40s, he can't avoid the young 40 image. So he made a satirical piece out of it. So let's look at it.
야, 예쁘지? 너 무색까지 생겼어요? 왜? 이거 예쁘잖아. 원피스가 되잖아. 뭐하세요? 이걸 신으신다고요? 왜? 원피스잖아요.
So you can hear like the cameraman constantly saying that's young 40. Like, so he got the orange iPhone, he got the the on running shoes,
대표님 테슬라 타고 다니면
and he got the Tesla. So apparently a Tesla is also a young 40 brand as well, because like people in their 40s want to look cool.
혹시 아까 제가 전했던 거다 들어와 보세요. 너무 스윗하신 거 아니에요? 그 영국집.
So he literally just talked to one of his female employees, and he was being gentle and kind, and the male employee is like, "Oh, why are you so sweet to the female? Like, you're a young 40." And now he's hurt, so he's looking at his age. He's just looking up his age, and the guy's like, "Oh, if you're born in that age, you're young 40." So, okay, poor guy, poor dude. Like, this is what this is what men in their 40s in Korea have to go through nowadays. All because of this young 40 meme. I think that sucks, honestly. Yeah, but let me break it down even more. So, this is the AI runway for young 40s. So people are making dedicated AI runways videos for this meme. So this is how a young 40 is supposedly supposed to look like. Okay, the Prada bag with the essentials, and the Stussy, and the gold chain at the beanie, and the big Nike Air logo with a snapback on with Jordans on, and a windbreaker with some ripped jeans and some Jordans, and a snapback with some Ray-Bans. Okay. Broccoli says, all this describes my wife. She's 40s, Tesla, orange iPhone, on cloud sneakers, and sling bag. Okay, well, to be fair, like, it's only applicable to Korean men in their 40s. I mean, it does apply to women, but it's mostly used to mock men. Okay? So let's go on to the next runway. So that was the summer version. Now we have the autumn version. I think there are going to be 4 seasons for these AI series over here. So this is the you see the leaves over here? This is the autumn version. Okay. Okay, we have the Supreme jackets, the Adidas windbreakers. Okay. He looks stylish, and the leather jacket, the Jensen Huang look, the Moncler hoodies. Okay. So, yeah, what do you think of these guys? Like, do you think they're stylish? Do you think they look good? The first 2 runway guys were okay. Okay. Why though? I don't understand the slingback. Never seen a man wear one in the US. I don't know. I don't understand either. But I wear a slingback when I'm traveling. Yeah. Anyways, that's the young 40 look for you. That's the stereotype. And we have more and more, I guess, like, I guess we have more and more internet memes coming out saying like, oh, they spotted a young 40 in the wild. You know what? I saw this man and he looked like he was in his 40s and he was looking a cosmic orange iPhone. Oh my gosh, he's trying so hard to look cool. It amplifies even more over here because like most of the middle-aged guys and above use Samsungs here because like we're the nation of Samsung. Like have some love for your own country. Why go out of the way and use iPhone? The only reason too would be to look cool, right? That's a you know a back mind story there. Okay, if you get what I mean. And the comments are saying the problem with young 40. So let's go on deeper. So I said that it's not only about appearance, right? So people are like, the news has to got it. The news has to get it right. We are not making fun of these people because they are trying to look cool with their looks. Maybe some if they're too over the top, like if it's a mismatch, I'm sorry, but like I mean, I think everyone has their own freedom to wear whatever they like. If they look cool, they're trying hard or whatever not. But anyways, what the people in their 20s and 30s are saying right now is like the news and the media reports got it all wrong. The main problem with young 40 is not pretending himself to be young. It's because that he forces himself to be young. It's try hard, but also on top of appearances, he says they have their own peculiarities. He's obsessed with women in their 20s. Although he looks like Kim Jong-un, he constantly evaluates passing women and keeps on saying things he doesn't need to say, probably about women's appearances or like unnecessary dad jokes or whatever, thinking he's cool or comedic, whether it's out of confidence or lies. So there's a very big underlying disgust about for people, men in their 40s. I told you it's about men, right? Men in their 40s trying to approach women, like young women in their early 20s or whatever, in the workspace or outdoors or whatever. Like, you need to stay in your lane. Like, if you're not like, I don't know, DiCaprio or Tom Cruise, who I just saw that got like a fiance that's 26 years old younger than him. If you're not like a superstar loaded or have like enormous social status or good looking, I guess this is all lookism at the end of the day, but like, in general, it's kind of gross to see like someone over, let's say 40 something trying to flirt with a 20-year-old girl, right? A 21-year-old girl. That just doesn't sound right. Like love is love, age is age, it's just a number, but in general, if you're not like the premise here is like if you're not maintained well enough, if you're not like groomed well enough, and the only thing is you have like a baseless confidence and you're just like flirting with 23-year-old girls in your office space thinking you're cool because you're on top of them and you're their boss and you're the alpha of the pack in your company, then that is kind of disgusting. I would agree, And people are saying, don't distort Young Poti, everyone. Young Poti is about workplace sexual harassment, sexual assault, and confession attacks. Confession attacks means these people in their 40s go over to 23-year-old newbies and they say like, oh, I think I really love you. Would you like to date me? Like, I'd love to take you out on a like wine dinner or something like that. And sometimes these people are even married too. Or if they're not married, you got to think why they're not married at the same time. Yeah, it's gross when the person can actually be your parent. I know, right? Yes, exactly. If you're old enough to be their father or grandfather, stay away. In general, I'm just saying it is kind of gross. Yeah, if it's not the women's choice, then I would say the other way around. It's kind of no. I know guys in their 50s and 60s who routinely hit on 20-something women. No, like that's a no-no. Unless you're like Kang Dong-won or Hyunbin or someone like that, where young girls want to approach first, then it's the other way around. So I think there would be an exception there. But if you're just I hate to do this, but if you're just, you know, a young 40 guy that has like a beer belly, that hasn't managed yourself, that tries to look cool, try hard, and makes dad jokes, lands dad jokes, and goes up to your female employees and flirt with them, that's definitely not a good look, right? So going on with the comment, it says, if you're far left, this is like the political spectrum, okay? It if you're far left, and if you have deviant conversations like I'm right and you're wrong, like they're like condes, right? They have like a conde mindset, and I'll explain the left and progressive thing a little later. But yeah, if you have that political spectrum, and originally fashion is freedom, yes. Fashion is for everybody. There's no rule that you can't dress like a younger person. It's actually, I would say, admirable if a person tries to dress younger. Like, they're not getting lazy, right? They're trying to take care of themselves. And additionally, that fashion is just like the male version of 동탄 미시. So 동탄 미시, we covered this a while before, right? There's this like, you know, fantasy over like middle-aged women in the area of Dongtan wearing these one pieces that reveal their body shapes a lot. Anyways, so yeah, that's the sentiment behind it. And this person saying the best among them is the sweet young poti. These people are real. So what sweet young poti means is you go up to these female young employees and you're trying to be so sweet and like a gentleman and a knight in shining armor, and you're always doing them favors and buying them food and giving them gifts and like giving them like lesser like what do you call it, like less hard missions and tasks, compared to like when you treat the guys, you're like super cold and you're like, oh yeah, okay, just do this like by the end of the day. And you're like, oh, let's go have dinner. Who wants to go? And then he only gathers like the girls and like leaves out the guys. That's what a sweet young 40 is. And you're like kakao texting the girl, and you're like, like, oh, I want to see you so much. Oh, what did you do over the weekend? And all that bullshit, you know? So that's what a sweet young 40 is. Okay. So yeah, people are seriously super mad about these people. Please don't confess to women in their 20s that you smiled at that they smiled at you, or made eye contact with them. Like, these people are delusional, so they fall in love with these people in their 20s when they're just trying to be kind to their bosses because they just have to be so in a corporate situation. And please don't think that women have a crush on you. I've been there too, so please don't do that to them. Spreading rumors that you two went to a cafe together when you were the only ones there. Don't beat up women in their 30s. So people are very, very angry about these young 40 individuals that are hitting on 20s women and confessing to them, and delusional that they think they have a crush on you because like they're smiling at you. The problem isn't what they wear or what they use on their phones. The problem is that they think they're young, don't act their age, and then harass women in their 20s with obscene questions like, how's your boyfriend? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's getting worse and worse. Do you guys have experience like this in the workplace? Do you guys have your own young poties in the States or like your own country? I guess these people are universal, but like there's been a growing I guess presence of these sort of people in Korea. So we're calling them out as young potis. 2030s hate the young 40. 40-50s are the icon of old farts, but they think they are progressive and enlightened people. The problem isn't fashion, it's ideology and behavior. The news isn't getting the message across. All right, so before we go on to the next one, so let me break down why being progressive in Korea is a problem as a 40s person. So there's a lot of history behind this. I might not be exact, but I'll try to break it down as easy as possible. So the 40s generation, the historical context is that they were the generation that experienced the uprising of democracy and the protests against the dictatorship and all that. So that's admirable, right? So they are like at the forefront of protecting and claiming democracy for Korea. That is something that we should admire and respect. Okay, if it ends at that, they would be a respected generation, right? So that's why most of them have progressive ideologies and all that. But another context we have to understand is that back in the 80s, back in the 90s, when Korea was booming, the economy growth rate was like just like going exponential, and the interest rates were so low, and you could borrow money so much, and like you could get interest just by like saving your salary at your bank account. Like, I don't know, like people say, I have never experienced this because like ever since I was around and ever since I had a concept about like interest in banks and whatever, like all I've seen is like interest rates of like 3%, 2%, or like now, like if you want to lend, it's like 7%, 8% or something like that. But they say back in the days, like from our parent generation to like younger than that, if you just accumulated money, like your monthly income, and just put it in the bank, you could just, grow your wealth and buy a house, right? So the main problem with the 40s generation and above over here is that they were the biggest beneficiaries of the housing boom. So they have that political spectrum of being progressive, and they had the beneficiary of being, they had the benefits of riding on the housing boom. So now they're all super rich, right? Most of them have probably more than a net worth of 1 mil in their yeah, like assets counts, because like if you have like a decent house in Seoul, that means like it's over 1 mil, right? So they probably invested maybe, I don't know, 300K or whatever. They got easy loans and whatnot, and now they're super rich. And what's the problem is that people in their so this extends to like the 50s, like 40s to 50s, right? So they got wealth, they have progressive mindsets, but at the same time, they're very like, okay, so there's another stereotype before I get into that. So yeah, actually, let me explain the first one. Yeah, so like you have that condition first, and then they're normally people in power. Their position in corporate scenes are, they're normally like manager levels, or they're like in boss levels and whatnot. So they are managing people, so they have the authority and power to be vocal, and they have the money, and they usually are, not all people, but a lot of people are gondes. They're very authoritative. And when young people complain that it's so hard, they are always like, it's because you didn't 노력해. It means like you didn't put too much, you didn't even put that much effort into it. So why are you complaining? Just strap up and work harder. So, and then they decisively say that whatever they did, or their solution or their thoughts, are the answer, because everything worked out for them because of like the generational and era and the times. And also, while so many people are worried about our country's economy because of like the inverting demographics and like the national pension getting depleted, and all that kind of stuff, so it's like a whole political thing. A lot of people in the younger spectrum are going conservative nowadays because in fear of like inflation and housing prices. And it's a known fact, when a progressive government or a liberal government administration takes in, the housing prices surge. So the discrepancy between the younger generation and the 40s and above becomes even bigger and bigger and bigger. That's why, even though they were at the forefront of like the democratic movement, now because they have assets, most of the people 40 and above blindly support the liberal and progressive government, because they know if a progressive government comes, the housing prices are going to just go up and up and up. And it's a proven fact statistically that it's quite ironic, because like the progressive government doesn't want the housing prices to go up, but they make like these regulations upon like debts, or getting like debt, or like making loans or housing prices, but the bubble just keeps on going up. Anyways, stuff like that happens. And also, the biggest stereotype is that a lot of Congress members and lawmakers, a lot of the younger side of them are in their 40s, and a lot of them from the liberal side. So this is not statistical proof, okay? But this is just like, I guess, stereotypes, or maybe there is an ounce of truth to it. But from the conservatives in Korea, what kind of image we have is like they're all corrupt. They all are doing dirty work. They're all trying to like steal money from, I don't know, government pockets, or they're trying to like make tax evasions or whatnot. Like they're all corrupt and they're pro Japan, whatever. They're all from like the privileged families and blah 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 blah. They're very pro USA, so that's very conservative. On the other hand, the progressive and liberal side, their stereotype is, oh, they come from like grassroots, like middle class, like more, I guess, like non-privileged families and stuff like that. Most of them were jailed for like democratic movements, and they were victims of like the dictatorship in the past. And now they're in Congress and they speak about being righteous and just and progressive and blah 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 blah. But weirdly enough, I don't know why, if this side is being corrupt, this side is weirdly entangled in a lot of sexual cases. So there are a lot of major politicians that were in their 40s that were hurled into these sexual allegations and actual cases. So like some people, like I guess, assaulted their secretaries. Some people were caught going to like room salons and prostitution. Some people blah blah blah. So a lot of people are associated with like sexual crimes on the liberal side. So what people are saying is like, okay, this side is corrupt, but this side is it's worse because they're hypocritical. They vouch for like feminism and they're like for democracy and like progressiveness and whatever, but in the behind the scenes, behind their closets, they're all like just, they actually secretly cheer for the housing prices to go up, which is not good for the people, and they actually do dirty stuff with women using their power and authority, where when they were the ones that were fighting as the weaker, from the weaker end, for democracy and stuff. That so people say like, oh, hypocrisy is the worst thing ever, and that's like those are some kind of points that stem from that stereotype. So because of these kind of stereotypes, and because these not only apply to congressmen, but also to people in corporate scenes, as you've seen, like a lot of the sentiment is about females, right? I don't know what it is. Maybe these people, because now they're rich and now because they have power, they want to use that towards like young women. Maybe that's like, I don't know, human nature. I guess we can't justify it, but like, yeah, maybe like because you're rich and because you have power, you're like, oh, maybe I can go for a 20-year-old girl. I don't know what the psyche is. I'm not 40 yet, but yeah, like because of these incidents piling up on each other, that's why the young 40 kind of image strengthened over time. So young 40 is not only about like the appearance you saw before. That's just like a funny, I guess, meme. Like, who cares about fashion? Who cares about whatever you wear? I guess we have to admit that there is a pattern over there on the designer clothes and the snapbacks. Yeah, we can laugh over that, but the fact that these people are going for younger women and they're using their power and wealth to like maybe like gaslight some of them, maybe like lure some of these naive women, and maybe try to like force some of these women, is the disgusting part. And people have noticed and recognized that a lot, so that's now merged into the appearance only young 40 meme, and now it's become like a social phenomenon that's pretty much disgusting, right? So yeah, I think I've pretty much like gone through, thoroughly explained what a young 40 is. So that's the sentiment behind 40s people. I'm sorry. So like innocent people like that YouTuber we saw before, he's even a fashionista. Like he's genuinely a fashionista. These people are getting accused of being a young 40 just because he's in the 40s. I think that's very unfair, but like it's the social trend right now. So what are you going to do about it, right? And Rachel, thank you for the $2. What is the youngest and oldest you would date? I mean, at the end of the day, okay, this is contradicting everything I said. By principle, I think age is just a number. Okay, it's not. I'm not saying that I'm gonna go out for like a 20-year-old girl or something like that. I'm just saying there are endless possibilities. The principle should be love. Okay, like if I don't know, a 50-year-old guy, or like it can be vice versa, like a 30-year-old girl, like 20 years old gal sincerely loves each other. Like who says what? Like who are we to judge, right? Like if there's genuine love, I would doubt that. But anyways, in my case, a realistic, scenario of me would be up and down maybe 4 years. I would say that's the, it's not the limit, but I would say that's a realistic and approachable kind of age for me. So if I'm 33, I could go up to like people 37, 38, and if I'm younger, like maybe 26 to 27 above. No, that's like not 4 years. 29. Wow, I'm super old. 29, 28, something like that, okay? So yeah, I think it's because, you know, it's because when you date someone that's like too apart from you in terms of age, the possibilities and chances are that you two don't have that much in common. It's very rare to have something in common in terms of talking points, like in terms of what you're interested, in terms of your lifestyle, in terms of like your environment, stuff like that. Like, theoretically, if you're 4 years apart or even above, you finish college, whereas this person is just entering college. So you're going into a social field where like you're going into the corporate scene, you're job hunting, you're adjusting to like a corporate kind of environment where this person is talking about like the freshman experiences, like you're drinking all night and hanging out with friends and talking about dating and blah 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 blah. So that's the biggest discrepancy between. It actually happens in Korea, unrelated, but like since we're at this, it actually happens in Korea quite often because it actually happened to me as well too. If you think about it, men have the military, right, and they take leaves and rest on semesters in school. So normally when a Korean guy goes to the military, what happens is like they go for the freshman year and their second year in college. It's either one of those years, and they stop and they go to the military. It's normally 2 years, and normally if you're lucky, you can come back immediately. But if like the semester overlaps with your military dischargement, you have to like wait another semester. So you probably lose more than like 2.5 years for military in average. So you're late, and if you had a girlfriend that was the same class of you, and she's already graduated and she's already doing her internship, she's already in the job market, so there becomes like this discrepancy between like what stage of life you're at. This guy who's just discharged from the military wants to like enjoy now, take it a little easy, go out, drink, hang out with his friends, maybe even travel, go on exchange, which is what happened with me. I wanted to go on exchange to Singapore, and this girl is like, it's a life or death situation for her now. Like shit hit the fan. Yeah, she's like desperate to go into like this company. Like she's always cramming at the libraries, taking TOEFL scores, like taking these aptitude tests, like, and she's always going to interviews, getting makeup, whatever. And these two just don't match. So those 2 years driven by the military difference even drive people away. So most of these couples break up because of those kind of reasons. So imagine if you have like that much of an age difference. Imagine what stage of life this person would be at and this person would be at. So it only goes from like, oh, the more wealthy or powerful person that has more stability, seeking like just attractiveness, just pure attractiveness, appearance, or maybe personality wise. Can't rule out that, but that's why people see it as pretty, weird. I would say. Yep, but for me, realistically, 4 years apart. Hmm. Okay, patriarchy is a subtle or maybe not so subtle influence. They sound desperate to cling on their youth, which just makes them seem even older. Exactly, that's the point of it. Um, I seem to be in the wrong place today. I'm a poor 70-year-old granny perv, apparently. What? Because I'm sitting here wearing my gym and hoodie. Hey, fanship? Like, you're... This is a Konglish word, I think. Penship. I don't know. Like, love out of, like, a fan. Like, you're being a fan is different from, you know, an actual love. Yeah. Okay, why are people talking about Anna again? Old white men in their 60s and 70s with young Thai girls has entered the chat. Like, yeah, that those are the things I'm talking about. Like, they have nothing in common. It's just people with wealth and stability just using that to get like young, attractive women. That's kind of sad. hmm Keeping quiet on this subject since my last boyfriend was 10 years younger than. There's no problem with that. I'm telling you, like if you guys click, if you guys have a connection, and if there's actual love, nobody is to judge upon that relationship. But most of the cases, if it's flipped, like when the man is older, that's normally the case. There's a lot of power dynamics involved, which is where it gets very slippery. Yeah. hmm Exactly. Even in a legal standpoint, the idea is baffling to me. But me dating an 80, I won't quote it as me, but someone over 30 dating an 18-year-old, if they are legal under your legal system, if it's legal, then like it's legal, right? We can't say anything about it, but like some people will judge morally. Anyways, okay. So yeah, that was the young 40 phenomenon, and I phenomenon? I guess stereotype and trend going on nowadays. Um at some point it is ageist and kind of sexist if you want to say it, because it does group in a whole sex, like males mostly. Um but yeah, anyways, it's now just a meme, and mainstream media is covering it. Uh, yeah, and like people in their 40s are now getting kind of intimidated and they're kind of getting hurt. Just innocent men, just yeah, probably nice husbands, just taking care of their babies at home. They're like, what did I do? Or maybe they're reflecting on themselves. Yeah, it's an interesting thing that's going on. Yeah. Some say it's harmless humor. Some say it's social criticism. I don't know. I think it's a mix of both. But yeah. At the end of the day, I don't know why people cut and just judge each generation by generation. I guess we have the boomers, we have the X, and we have the millennials and the Gen Z, and now it's like called the Alpha or whatever. Like, okay, there are these generations, but at the end of the day, we're all human beings, and we all have similar inner thoughts and natures. It's just that our environment and the time of our era just carved us in different kind of ways, and we just have to understand that, right? Like, I don't look down upon unintelligent elderly citizens of Korea that are over like 70 and 80, and they don't know how to write or read, or they don't know much about like AI, or they just don't have that much like knowledge about anything in general, because that era they were in super poverty. Our country was poor. They couldn't afford to go get an education. It was war torn. They were drafted by the war, And I think they should deserve a matter of respect because they either served or they were the backbones of the foundation of this economic boost in our society. So, like, I don't understand people looking down upon elderly people. I don't understand older people looking down upon the Gen Z nowadays, saying that, oh, they're all spoiled, they only look for themselves, look out for themselves. You know, they're so individualistic, they don't care about anybody else. Like, they should try harder. We all have different environments and we all have our different situations and problems. And I think every generation should just recognize and admit that. And yeah, like I could never understand my parents' generation. I don't know what it's like to be a person in the boomer era, right? Post-war era, when the country was building, it was under a dictatorship, when everything was super conservative and patriarchy was the norm. Like, I would never get that, right? So in our lens, just because it's morally wrong or intellectually wrong, can we blame them? I don't know. If the society as a whole was like that back then, and if that was how they were taught, how they were, in some of these people's words, brainwashed, can we blame those individuals? Aren't they victims then? I don't know. So I think it's easy to judge, but like we should be careful about that. Yeah. Each generation has their way of survival. Yes, that is true. And make sure to like and subscribe. We're all different ages, all different generations, but we have one thing in common. We can all like and subscribe. End of speech. And while we're at it, oh my gosh, Sandra, what a generous PayPal. Have a nice meal. This is gonna get me more than a nice meal. Thank you so much. Pizza for your PayPal. Wow, extra cheese on that. Okay. Yeah. And I will definitely be taking an Uber from your past PayPals. And you know, I can pay by dollars in the US with PayPal via Uber or Lyft, so that is amazing. And I can probably use PayPal in restaurants too. I'm trying to not use credit card as much as possible because the $1, it right now it's crazy. So normally 1,001 is like 1,000 $1 is like 1,200 to 300 won. So that it's like the 1 to 1.3x ratio. That's like the normal pegging rate. But right now, it's at like it's going through the roof. The dollars, I don't know if the dollar is getting strong or the one is going weak. Maybe it's both ways, but the $1 right now is at 1,435. It's 1.43x. That's crazy. So, like, on top of that, if you think of like the exchange fees and the credit card fees, the extra 10% or whatever, I'm not using credit card when I'm in the US for 4 days. I'm gonna be using the PayPals as much as I can. And that's even beneficial for me because, like, if I were to convert this into one, that would all be like total income for me. So yeah, gonna be using PayPal as much as I can. Okay, time to order that pizza. Okay, thank you so much, Maddie, for reminding me. Yes, let's order that pizza before we go on to the next subjects. Right before we do that, another PayPal came in from... Oh, it's from a company. Okay, I won't say the whole company, but from an LLC. Okay. Thank you so much. I was in Busan and saw the gigantic flower pot. Oh, you saw my IRL stream when I was in Busan, right? Please enjoy meal on me. By the way, word Tara is aunt in French. Okay, you just revealed it. I hope you don't think this is Young 40. I don't know. I'm not seeing the full message, but yeah, I'm guessing that's the rest of it. But okay, auntie, thank you so much. Pizza, I will enjoy it. Pizza. Yes. Let me just order a quick pizza and go on to the next segment. So don't leave. Hold on, get some beer, cold beer from your refrigerators or some soda or whatever while I get my pizza. Yes, it's perfect day for pizza because it's a Sunday. I don't know why, but weekend pizzas hit different. Uh, Give me like a minute here, okay, guys? All right, let's just get a no more pizza. Never fails. Actually, you know what? I'm feeling like a more expensive one today. Let's go for Jackson Pizza. Jackson is actually pretty good. Yeah, I'm not going for the brand ones because they're too expensive. It's pretty much the same, I would say. But like the normal like branded ones, they take too much time, and I don't want to stall too much time during live streams. So I'm going for the easy menus. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Well, this is taking a lot of time too. Ugh, the minimum price. Ugh. I don't want a margarita. Oh, yeah, let's get a half and half. All right. Oh my gosh, that is expensive. Okay, let me just get a pepperoni. Yeah, I'm going to New York, so I'm gonna have a lot of pepperoni pizza while I'm there. So let me compare the Jackson pizza here to the New York. Yeah, I have my list of pizza places I want to go to. So the first one is the original, according to GPT and Google, Joe's Pizza. Apparently that's like, you got to try that if you're in New York, if you're a newbie over there. So I'm going to get that first, just a slice. And then apparently my venue of the festival is near Brooklyn. So I found a hot pizza place in Brooklyn, ordered, by the way. And it's called F&F. So I might check out that place. Yeah, there were other options too, but I just chose like the one with the best reviews and was close enough. So yeah, New York is about cheese pizza, really? I saw the comments saying like if you want to know if it's quality pizza or not, go for the pepperonis. Yeah. First girl should report it to the headquarters for sure. I wonder if I can PayPal David to sponsor a date with Anna. Well, depends. Depends. Let's see. Okay. South Korean one is 11435 right now to the 1 USD. It's crazy. Should I come to Korea now? Yeah, this is a very great time. If you're a US citizen and you use the dollar, come to Korea. Everything is gonna be like theoretically 20 to 30% cheaper for you. And including the living cost difference, it's probably gonna be like 40% cheaper than everything over here. Yeah. The one against the dollar is just so bad right now. Jungkook had Joe's Pizza on the Jimmy Fallon show? Okay, now I got more reason to go try it out. Alright, so my pizza's gonna come in 30 minutes. In the meantime, let's go into the next subject, which is the dark side of being an idol and their side jobs. Apparently, idols can't live just being idols. Duh, right? Everybody knows about that, but it hits different when you're hearing from a trusted source. Okay, so let's go into this one. All right. So this guy over here is an ex-idol named Cap. And he says that idols, a lot of them take night jobs. And he proposes salaries. Very interesting take. Okay, so Cap from former Teen Top, real name Bang Min-soo, spoke on an online talk show on a YouTube channel about money problems idols face And for context, Teen Top debuted in 2010 with hits like Crazy and Rocking, and Cat was leader rapper position. He later left the group and signed with another agency called Modern Berry Korea, and he now speaks more openly about industry problems and possible fixes. So I will be honest, I don't know who Cap is, okay? Like, this is the first time I'm seeing him, but the fact that he was a Teen Top member, I know Teen Top. So he is he's not like a Nugu group, okay? At least. Like, he knows his stuff, like, because Teen Top back then, if I know about their name, they were pretty big, right? They weren't like just a small little group that just evaporated. Okay, so no Cap, yes. But this is Cap in his prime, I guess, during his like activities, and this is him nowadays. So he's doing a lot of like field work, a lot of like manual labor, and I guess he accumulated a lot of money. I don't know how he did it, but like over the years he made a lot of money, and now he's like a building owner. Wow. Okay. I wish life was. I wish I was fortunate as him, but maybe he put in really hard work. So, anyways, he was on this YouTube channel explaining that the usual 7-year exclusive contracts limit outside work, but if a group is inactive or not successful, the members don't have any income or like minimal income. They're just barely surviving. So, inevitably, in order for them to survive, they have to go outside and do night jobs, even though it goes against their contracts. And he just says this very transparently. And if you see over here in the post, it says, even if you've made a decent name of yourself. So he's coming from his own experience, right? Like, I'm not saying he went to a nightclub or whatever, but he was in a group called Teen Top, and I recognize that group, right? So even if you have some reputation or recognition, you might go to like a nightclub or an adult club, and you might go to like these room salons, and you pour drinks over there or do whatever. Like, it might even go further than that, right? Are we surprised? I don't know, but like, it's surprising because like it's confirmation. Like, everybody knew that this was bound to happen. It happens in the entertainment scene for like actors, actresses, celebrities, models, entertainers, idols, and everyone. But actually hearing it from a person just like that is pretty surprising, I would say. And he doesn't even filter it. He says like adult clubs and drinking places. So he said many idols spend their late teens and early 20s with unstable income, and some live on support from parents or just fall into debt because company costs get paid first. That's how the contract structure is made, and I'm gonna get into this later. But his solution he suggests, this is very controversial, okay, is a salary based idol structure. I have my own thoughts about that. Just to put it out there, I don't think that'll work, but I mean, I don't want to like downplay his own experience and what he learned. Well, he's been through a lot, and he proposes that idols should get a minimum wage or salary as well. Okay, he says that companies should pay a base monthly amount so idols can live with dignity. And by principle, I think the intentions are good, but whether those will work out or not, the reality is different. So, anyways, before we get into that, so this is about like the contracts. This is a summary of the whole interview he did on the video. And what he says is that most idols fail. That is a fact. Around 99.9% do not succeed or make a living. I guess that might be an exaggeration, but I would say over 90% do not succeed. It's really sad because like if you're not under a big label, there might be like one-hit wonders from these small leaders, but we even call it 중소도의 기적. That means small medium companies miracle. That that just indicates how hard it is to become successful under a small company, right? So yeah, 99.9% do not succeed according to his words. The 7-year standard contract traps young idols who debut around age of 17 to 18. That is for a fact. Everyone goes under the standard 7-year contract, which is a norm in K-pop. The signing fee is extremely small. I'm surprised there is even a signing fee. About $300 to $400, just easily saying, for the entire contract period. A signing fee of $300 to $400. That's just like there to probably abide by some laws or whatever. I don't know. Idols cannot take part-time jobs or freely engage in relationships because of company restrictions. We all know that. Daily living costs like food and housing are mostly paid by the idols themselves, even without schedules. So how it works out is, you know, like if you're binded under a 7-year contract and you're an idol, and let's say you're not making money at all, like your group is not profitable, it all stacks up on your debt. That's how it works. Like your monthly rent, the food you're consuming, everything is on your bill. And even if you're not earning, it's stacked up as debt. And laterwards, if you get activities, if you get profit, then it's subtracted. It's deducted from that debt, pile of debt, right? If you are profitable, you're offsetting those costs, and if you make a bigger margin, then that might be split into like your own profit. But like as he said, 99% of them are not successful. So most of the idols come out in debt. Or like, you know, there's a difference between companies to companies. I've heard testimonies from idols saying they came out in debt due to their contract, or there are some idols saying that if they abide by the contract, they you know, follow every clause and they don't break any rules, and if they withstand a certain amount of time, let's say 7 years plus a certain amount of time, it says that they don't have to pay for that debt. So there are two different cases, but most of the case, I would say they come out in debt. There are a lot of idols that said that. Yeah. So, anyways, many end up in debt or rely on family because they have no income during the contract. So it must be very painful for them. Just, you know, they spent their years training, but like all they're getting is debt. Right? So it must be very desperate, right? So after 7 years, they are often 25-year-olds with no experience or savings. All they know is to dance, to act pretty, you know, that kind of stuff, which doesn't really benefit in the working market, I would say, like in a corporate setting. So they can't get normal jobs like office jobs or like teachers or like professional jobs. So they have no money, they have no work experience, they have no valuable skills in the corporate scene. So they're basically effed, right? So some idols inevitably turn to nightlife work or BJ streaming out of financial desperation. I would say that's like the most plausible outcome, you know, like I'm not justifying it, but your skill sets are normally converted in like the reality from, if you're not in the showbiz, it just converts into like nightlife work or BJ streaming, right? BJ streaming is like being a streamer, like what I'm doing right now. It's not. So that's why I don't look down upon that. I mean, I think it's a valuable line of work as well, too. If they provide value, if they provide laughter and entertainment, that's all good. But then where it gets morally kind of shady is like the nightlife work. So you can be like a host or a hostess and work in a bar or something, but the line is usually put on whether you sell your body or not, whether you engage in prostitution or not. And I don't know, it's everyone's body is their own and they have their own decision, but generally in societal terms, prostitution is actually illegal in Korea. It's a non-taxed industry, and morally it would be very, you know. So, CAP proposes a monthly salary system to ensure idols' minimum living standards, and current idols avoid criticizing the system out of fear of being blacklisted, so only established figures can push for reform. And now I guess he's being that kind of voice to represent these idols now that he's in a better situation and he's earning good money and he's been through that, so he knows where they're coming from, right? So, yeah, what's wrong with streaming? There's nothing wrong with streaming, but if you look at some streamers in Korea, and probably all over the world, there's a genre called sexy streaming. There is a genre called stripping, and there is a genre called OnlyFans, a platform called OnlyFans. So there is a stigma upon streamers in Korea. So YouTube streamers are on the top. Okay, these are clean people. Like people who stream on YouTube, they probably do like straightforward, nice, educational, valuable content, whatever. Okay, because these people, they're catering towards a mainstream audience. But then if we go down, like I don't think like this, but this is how Korea society like flags it. If we go down one notch, there's like Twitch. Twitch is a little bit like niched. It's now illegal. It's not operating in Korea anymore, but back in the day there's like Twitch streamers that are a little bit more niched, and I honestly don't see the difference with YouTube. Maybe I'm not that much into the internet streaming culture to define what the difference between YouTube and Twitch is, but like people say that Twitch is a little bit more wild and niched, okay? So maybe there is like a thin line between it, and then we call this the Yangji. Yangji means sunlight, like the outer world. And then there's like a place called Umji. That means the dark world or the underground. And the platform begin with Africa TV. So Africa TV, which is now named Soup, SOOP, is the place where BJs are active. And here, nowadays, a lot of people just multi-stream on all different platforms, but if your roots are on Africa TV, maybe it's because the major BJs on that platform have set a reputation, a track record of weird content. So if you actually look at Africa TV content nowadays, now in the old days it was even weirder. There was this guy called Chargu. He was the Africa TV president, and he would shower with soy sauce, and he would scream and break walls and lit his place on fire and throw computers, and people would go outdoors and like make nuisances on metro stations and I don't know, roll on the cement and stuff like that. So like you get the vibes, right? It's like Johnny Somali but on drugs. Okay, so that's Africa TV in the old days, and those were the top tier streamers back then. Nowadays, of course, there are like okay streamers on Africa as well too. Like people just do talking shows, or like there's a person called Kamst. He's like a soccer commenter, and I guess he's funny too. But he gets a little aggressive too. He sometimes throws his like chairs and desks and whatever when Manchester United is doing awful. But there are a lot of, if you go to the sexy side, you remember the person that got into controversy with Pang PD, Pang Xiao, the chairman of Hybe, when he was caught in LA with those two streamers walking through that road. Those two are Africa TV streamers, and her name is Fruity Seon. I don't think she's doing anything wrong, but she usually wears very revealing clothes and dances very like, you know, sexy dances with emphasizing her body, and guys throw money at her. So a lot of people call it like internet stripping bars or something like that. And I would say that's even okay. But nowadays that's evolved. Like ever since like 2023-ish or something, like the pandemic or something, there's these broadcasts called Excel 방송. It comes from the word Excel, the Microsoft Excel. I don't know what the relation is, but I think it's because like you're stacking money, or like you're making quotes on the Excel sheet, like how much money you receive, And if you look at them, like this is what they do. So they normally, it looks like a room salon. It basically looks like a adult club or something. And these girls normally appear in these revealing clothes, and there are like a dozen of them. And they come out to the center stage and they do their sexy dances and stuff like that. And men throw money at them. And it's a very bizarre kind of culture if you actually look at what happens over there. So, yeah, you get why people call it the underground streaming platform, right? So that there's Africa TV over there. And then we have an even more underground platforms like I forgot the names, but what was it? I saw a big ass building in Gangnam, so they must earn a lot of money. But it's like an even more underground version of Africa TV, where there's less regulations, less restrictions, so you can basically like strip and you can basically be nude and like yeah, do whatever. So, anyways, that's the reputation streaming has over here in Korea. I'm happy that I'm on YouTube and I don't get judged, but still people will come and say, like, who have a thing against streamers will say, like, oh, you're begging people for money. Oh, you don't have any actual skills. Like, oh, you're just like, a jobless person. That's not a real job. So that's the basic sentiment. I think that's universal too, right? So, yeah. Jinu is on Soup in Africa TV. As I said, like, not all of them have that bad rep, but being on Africa TV gives you a little bit of a cheaper kind of vibe, if you want to say it like that. But anyways, going back to our topic, as some idols go into Africa TV or BJs, that's very true because like they're popular, they're cute, they're handsome, they're attractive, they know how to deal with audiences, and they know how to dance. So it's the perfect thing for them. I guess like it's the plausible, it's the reasonable, direction for them. Even if I were a retired idol and if I were a failed idol and I don't have any skill sets or corporate records or anything like that, then I would go on into streaming as well too. And it's very sad because like they go there and once they were idols and now they were labeled as idols, but they're basically doing the same thing, but because of this rep, they're being like downgraded to some extent. So yeah, anyways, if you look, so going back to Cap and his proposal about like getting incomes and stuff and idols making at least minimum income, this video went pretty viral and people were not on his side. So people were like, the minimum income, the minimum salary, monthly income thing for idols is BS. That does not make sense. So let's look at some comments on what they say. So first of all, but it's not just idols. Other things are similar too. There are people who take the civil service exam for 5 years, and if they forget all that time and fail, they won't have the qualifications and won't be able to get a job. It's the same with professional accountant exams too. So this person has a point. They're like, you chose to be an idol. You chose to take that risk. And it's the same for normal people that are going for lawyers, accountants, dentists, whatever. We all have to do something for those 5 years or whatever, prepare for that. And if it doesn't work out, it's the same for ordinary people that don't have job qualifications or, experience. That's a valid point. Even those who call themselves well off are forced to sell their bodies in the entertainment industry. Unless you're well off, it's difficult to make it without resorting to entertainment. Unless you're in the top 1% with good looks and talent, it's best not to pursue it. So people are like, there's a statistic out there that 99% of these idols fail anyways. So if you're like, that's why I always say, sorry to be so harsh, but if you are by any chance pursuing an idol career, like the stats are out there, there's a slim chance that you'll make it. So if you know that, a rational decision would be, if you make it into the big three, like HYBE, YG, SM, JYP, Big Four, then you're maybe set. You might have a chance. If you go into like companies where like Zico's manager, or J Park's manager, or Mamamoo's manager, Rain's manager, like okay, you might have a choice. But like all the other ones, you gotta double think about that, right? Unless you're at top 1%, as this comment says, it's gonna be very hard, and you know that when you're getting in. And there are no cases of success as a celebrity. There are also very rare cases of success and living well until the end. Yeah, everyone knows about that. This isn't a problem about with being 25. During those 7 years, I've become incredible. So I think this is from an ex-idol because they're using I've, right? This isn't a problem with being 25. During those 7 years, I've become incredibly high up among all the rich and successful people. I can't do ordinary things because all the ordinary lives seem insignificant. I end up either falling into entertainment or living with my life as an unemployed person. So I think what this person means is when you're in the entertainment sector, you see all these flashy things. You're sponsored by Gucci and designer brands. Like even if you're like a shitty idol, like if you go to like these idol events or like whatever magazine photo shoots, you see the flashy life, you witness it, you experience it, you indirectly are participating in it. And once you're out, you've been seeing flashy, handsome, attractive people all your life, and you've been seeing them making tons of money, and now you don't have any experience, and you go out to the field and try to work, and it's like sweaty and it's hard work and it's boring and it doesn't pay that much, and you'll be unsatisfied. So these people have a more of a chance to resort into easier stuff, like going into the adult industry or like streaming or something like that. Summary: high risk, high return, your choice. So people are cold-hearted over here. They are harsh. There's a reason parents keep it a secret, calling the entertainment industry a dirty place. Children from wealthy families can easily become producers with money, but women who don't have money just want to be rich. Men just want to be rich. Otherwise, it's a hopeless place. Who can we blame for the foolishness of not knowing the darkness is as deep as the light? Oof. If you know that releasing one idol album cost over 2 billion won, you can't criticize the company. Most small entertainment CEOs are putting their lives on the line by borrowing money. That's a valid point too. By the company's standpoint, they are taking a massive risk and investing on you as well too. And who says that, like you might slack off or you might sue the company for whatever, and it could go south so fast. So they're taking huge risk too. So monthly income, I don't know. If an idol fails, the company CEO becomes a beggar. Investors face greater risk than the idols. That's the same for corporate, like companies as well too. Like a lot of people on the progressive side say like, oh, like these Elon Musks and Bill Gates and these Mark Zuckerbergs, they have way too much money. And I agree to that to some extent. But at the same time, it is a fact that they took all the risks, and it's high risk, high return, and they could have become like someone, yeah, like they could have been someone like totally broke if it didn't work out, right? And let's not get into the details like, oh, they come from a rich family or whatever. Like every other CEO or like founder has their own story. But if you just look at Jensen Huang, he was an immigrant to U.S. from Taiwan, and their family was very poor. He worked at Denny's, and he mopped the floor, he served and cleaned the tables, and now he's the CEO of Nvidia. And if he didn't take that risk, and he almost flopped and he almost got bankrupt like a couple times, and then he persevered. Now he's making like trillions of money. So who's gonna judge on that, right? So it's the same for the idol scene, I guess. Like CEOs and these company owners are taking a lot of risk. The idols are taking risk too, but the company owners are taking a lot of risk too. I agree to that. If you want to achieve great success, you have to bet on yourself. If you don't want to take that risk, you shouldn't be an idol. Facts, I guess. And this is a long comment, but it's basically saying, yeah, like Cap is explaining on like idol trainees one-sided position in a humanitarian aspect, and I totally respect that, but there are complications in reality and the real world, and like for CEOs and like companies or whatever, blah 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 blah, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so yeah, there is a huge risk, and the next one is going to be RM, but yeah, boo-hoo, it's called capitalism. Exactly. So yes, that's the risk of any business. They should take on the risk they can handle and invest properly in their talent. So that is not as much of a risk. Exactly. So I mean, I feel bad. The story, if you think about it, the sentimental value of the story when you hear like an idol trainee training for 7 years, breaking their legs and like not being able to pay their rent and getting massive debt and no experience when they're out and not like going into the adult industry at the end. It's sentimentally very it's easy to get very sympathetic to them, and there's nothing wrong with that. You get emotional and you feel very bad for them, but at the same time, like every single corner of society, like us normal people as well too, take risks, and we just some people don't decide to take risks because they prefer stability and they maybe are more objective about themselves and they're like, oh, these are my skill sets, these are my intellectual values, these are my what I'm good at, or like probably if I pursue an idle career I won't succeed, so maybe let's reallocate those kind of that time and effort into other places and let's get a corporate job or let's work at a restaurant or let's make a business or whatever, right? So it's everybody else's choice, and maybe some might say like, oh, these people are only 17 and 18 when they get attracted to the industry, they go on in knowing nothing, but like you need a legal guardian to actually sign that, you need parental guidance, so it's like a collective decision, and everybody kind of decides what they want to do when they're like 18 to 19. They don't have like a strict picture or blueprint, but they're like, oh, maybe I mean I kind of like, for me, I kind of like being on camera. I want to be in like the media industry. So I went to college majoring media and communication, and then I ended up being a YouTuber, which is kind of down my line of work. But yeah, everybody in this capitalistic world, as the comment said, takes those kind of risks and choices, and we can't look out for every person out there just because they have like a sad backstory and it looks more sentimental. Because we're K-pop fans, and the comparison is huge between like BTS and like these new groups that never succeed and never see light and work at restaurants. So you know, yeah. So it's it's very hard to be very rational on this, but like when I saw the Korean comments, I was thinking, oh wow, they are very cold blooded. They're very cold hearted. I thought to some extent it was even harsh because this guy Cap was actually coming out and trying to voice his opinion and make a better environment for idols, but it kind of backfired from the people saying like, the world is a cold place, and if you know the risk when you're going in, then you should own it. And like the companies are not in the wrong there too, because they need their contingency plans. They need some kind of safety net for themselves too. Like if they don't want to go bankrupt, they need to have strict contracts. Sometimes the contracts are too exploitative, but there were a lot of comments saying like, because this is like a human industry and it's just very gray area. While the companies can be very exploitative too, the idols and the trainees can be vice versa, very dangerous and a risk to the company as well. So like there might be so many lawsuits as we've seen over the decade in DK News, so many idols suing the companies for this and counter suing, and yeah, it's hard to prove some stuff time to time. So I guess from a company standpoint, they need to have ironclad contracts and clauses to like be a safety plan for them. And if like it just happens to be that way. And we're seeing the epitome of that with New Jeans right now. So like, people might attach emotionally to the humans, like, oh yeah, they definitely got sexually harassed or something like that. But if we just pick out one example, which is the biggest one going on in K-pop right now, not most of the people are on the idol side, right? They're like, oh, they're backstabbers, oh, they're greedy, they're brats, they're unthankful, ungrateful, and they're trying to go against Hive when Hive invested all the money and time. And so like if you just think of that one example. It just proves the point. So yeah, can't wait for New Jeans to come back. Okay, idols only have to screw up once, and a company can lose their investment. Exactly, exactly. So it goes for both sides. Um, I actually, you know what? I wanted to I wanted to make an idol management at one part of my career, like with Danny. So Danny's actually working. Oh shit! And so Danny and I, we we had some experience in the K-pop industry indirectly. We knew a lot of people. We were interviewing a lot of idols. We saw the structure. We saw the ecosystem working, and we were like, we saw the trend going. So actually, back then in like 2020-ish, when there wasn't any Cat's Eye or like Exin or whatever, we were like, or there wasn't any Black Swan. I don't know when Black Swan. I think they were one of the most earliest, but we were like, you know what? Like K-pop is super popular globally, and the domestic audience is outnumbered by global audience now. So I think it makes sense to actually go for maybe a multinational, like maybe even non-Korean or English all-speaking group. And I think with our resources, we can make like an open audition through our channel. Our channel had some leverage back then. It had some clout. Just look at Ramen and Show. We should actually try to cast some like people who want to be international folks that want to be idols, that want to pursue that route. And although we don't have that much knowledge and expertise, it could be a grassroots kind of approach, like us growing together. It was very naive back then, but we were like, we could treat them more humanely, better contracts, and we could like have split shares, and it could be YouTube based. It doesn't have to be traditional media. We don't have to go on Inkigai or whatnot. We could just do Kickstarters, we had this all idea, and maybe like making like, even if it's not super successful, we could do like underground tours and small venues, and that would be a dream for some people. And I back then we were like, oh, that's actually a good idea. Maybe we could pursue that down the line someday if our channel gets bigger and we have bigger capital. But then, time after time, seeing like these companies fail and going bankrupt and getting sued, and these groups breaking up, and hearing these like backstories from idols themselves and like people, like acquaintances I actually know, I was like, oh wow, we were super naive. That was like, oh yeah, that would have flopped so hard, and I would have been like in such a darker place right now if we actually went for that route. I don't know, maybe it might have succeeded, but probably not, because like even with those kind of systematic approaches with SM Entertainment and all those ironclad contracts, sometimes it doesn't work out and backfires. So yeah. Okay. So right, and while we're at it, thank you so much, Catherine, for the 10 on PayPal. Pizza. Hi, David and Nightbot. Enjoy your pizza. Thank you so much. Nightbot is working. Okay. Call to action. $20 pizza from Poonsin. Thank you so much. Your pizza lunch is on me. I would like to be. Oh, your name just popped up first. I'm so sorry. I would like to be anonymous. I'm sorry. I didn't say your surname though. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure people didn't get your name out of that. I probably pronounced it wrong as well too. Anyways, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I will not read the name out loud next time. Okay. Yeah. So don't blame your ideas and dreams. Okay, so anyway, 340 people watching, 140 likes only. Please put that like button up, and let me just do a midstream check where the pizza is. Oh, what? It's already there? This guy came in without even ringing the bell. Okay, let me go get the pizza. Actually, let me just leave it. Let's finish this RM piece real quick, and then let's go on to the pizza, all right? Yeah, we've been streaming for 2.5 hours. I don't want to elong it too much. So okay, let's go on into the last segment, which is RM talking about marriage. This was the hottest topic over the week in Korea, of course because of RM's influence, but also because marriage is such a hot potato nowadays with the low birth rate, people complaining about housing prices and marriage and all that. So RM came out on Weverse Live, and what he said is basically live your own way. I love that. I love that. So let's get into detail on what he spoke about. So he spoke about marriage and children in general, and he said he once thought he would be married by the age of 30, like many of his parents times, and now he's not sure about that. Among his friends, only 2 or 3 out of the 10 are married. That's pretty accurate because like RM's a little younger than me. So I mean, in my age bracket, I would say like I think 30 to 40% are married. So his friends are getting there, right? So that's pretty accurate. Two to 3 out of 10 are married. He said that if the right person and timing come, he can marry. Exactly the same mindset as me. RM and me, we connect. I mean, dude, we should have some beer sometime over some pizza. If not, he said, living alone can be fine. Same. He said there's no correct answer. I love that. I want to give him applause for that. Because this society, it just really stresses you in saying like, oh, you got to be married by this age, like by that time you'll miss all the good options, like you got to have like this and that by this age, and your parents are constantly doing that, your friends are constantly comparing, and blah 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 blah. And he talks about that too on stream as well too. He said pressure comes from society and media. I think that is, yeah, spot on. He said women often face even more pressure about kids and career. That is totally valid because, you know, even in the case of my ex-girlfriend and a lot of women I know, the narrative is like, okay, it's universal about like, oh, people should get married by this age and that. But for women, there's an even more bigger pressure saying like, first of all, your biological clock is ticking. There's so much fear on YouTube and on the internet community saying like, oh, if you get married over 35, you'll probably get like a, you know, your child will have like a condition or something. He's gonna be disabled or something. So like people are very frightened about that, and also for women, there's this crazy program on ENA nowadays. It's the sequel of the 나는 Solo, I'm Solo, that widely successful dating program for normies in Korea. And this one, there's like a marriage consultant, like you know those matchmaking companies. There's this expert girl that comes on, and she literally obliterates these women that participate on that show because they want to get an objective evaluation on what their score point is in the marriage market. So you should check it out one time. And these women come and say like, oh, I'm actually like actively looking for a partner, and you know, like I've been trying but it's so hard, so I'm trying to like put myself out there and I want some consultation and I want to objectively see like where I stand in the marriage market. And like this matchmaking consultant, she is brutal. She's like, oh, appearance, you're like a 2 because of your salary. If you have a higher salary, that's actually not good because like men don't want higher salaries than you. So like you're a 3 in that, and I don't think you're in good shape. So maybe I'll give you like a 3 for that. The fact that you want someone over 180 centimeters is like it's crazy when you're only 150 something. Like the fact that you have higher expectations, I'll give you a 1 for that. How and like where do you want to live? And the girl says like maybe in Seoul. And, oh, like -1 point, blah 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 blah, and it stacks up. And she's like, oh, your grade is D. Oh, you're an E grade. And she says, oh, it's okay because like people rarely get A's or B's. Like I only have like, you know, a handful of people that are A's, and the craziest thing is like she starts off with like, oh, so what's your age? And she's like, the contestant's like, oh, I'm like 32, and she's like, oh, you're over 30. You're already like, you're already you can't even apply for a B grade. You're already the highest you can get is a C because you're immediately over 30. And she's like, oh, men don't want women over 30. And she's like just strengthening that, that social pressure, but it's justified by the audience and the people and the society of Korea saying that that is the norm and that's actually the reality and the truth. And okay, maybe the social environment is like that. Like people actually do think, oh, if a woman is over 30, then like why would I like like I would go for like a younger 20 or mid 20s person who's fertile and like, is more like is more naive, blah 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 blah, and all those narratives. But like this woman, she like slaughters people on the show, and that is one of the most popular shows on the internet right now. So it's crazy. Like RM talking about society and media, he's spot on about the pressure. Yeah, after this, while I'm eating pizza, let me actually show you that show. So stick around. But anyways, RM warned against marrying just to escape loneliness. So if you go to Daily David Kim on my Instagram, I did post about this, how I felt super lonely over the Chuseok holiday, because like Chuseok gets super empty in Seoul, and I was just left alone. I was at my house just editing because like my grandpa recently, passed away, and our family already got a gathering, and the only family members left, we only like have 4 people, so we were like, let's just skip the meeting. So I was just all here. My mom just went down to Busan quickly, and yeah, I was all here alone, and I was super super lonely. And thankfully, out of nowhere, my friends just called me to Itaewon, so I went to Itaewon. So I had a fun fun time. But like, if you go to yeah, Instagram over here, you can see Daily David over here, and yeah, you can see like my reel. So go check it out. It's getting a lot of views. But anyways, going back to RM, yeah, he said that everyone has their own pace, and they should live their own pace, not getting pressured by society and the media. And he's spot on that women gets more pressure about kids and career. Another point is career, that women are on disadvantage because if they have kids, they have to go on maternal leave. And in our society, even though it is secured by law, there is definitely a stigma or a negative image towards a person who is going to go on maternal leave. I think as a society, everyone should have. Sorry about that. Suddenly, everyone should have consensus that maternal leave should be just a normal thing. That nobody should be stigmatized or disadvantaged by that. But for some reason, people are like, like we're going into like you knew that we were going into like a huge project next year, and did you really have to get a baby at this time? Like there are things like that, and people just sigh saying like, oh yeah, what can we do about it? But it's going to be very hard to find a replacement in that level of expertise, and we'll have to teach them over again, and that's like a waste of time as well too. So people utter these kind of things, and it's just so sad seeing that kind of disadvantageous unfavorable environment for women, like having birth, while our society's the lowest birth rate in the world. We should be like applauding them for having a baby, congratulating them, like sincerely, not just with words. It's not being a condescending, oh, congratulations, you're having a baby, so when are you off work? I've seen that a lot. Okay, so so yeah, definitely you shouldn't marry just to escape loneliness. You should find the one that you think you're really compatible with, your personalities go well together, And also, RM said, like, on having children, he is unsure as well. He joked that he can barely take care of himself, which is the same with me. I think everyone around this age agrees. I think RM is like, what was his age? 94, 95? Jin is 92. He's the oldest. So I think RM should be like around that. He's around my age. And he said raising a child is a huge duty. It is a huge duty. It's a lot of commitment. It's a lot of like labor, time, effort, and money. Especially in Korea, especially in education. So RM said like his parents had a hard time and he remembers that and he wonders like if he can handle a child like that. I think this is like an existential like phase everyone has around that marriage season, like, you know, like, oh, I wonder if I can raise a child. Nobody's perfectly ready and but like or prepared. Everyone just goes through that process, but I understand the fear and the anxiety or the insecurity he's feeling about that. I can relate to that. And he said that there's no single path. People born in the 1990s are the first Korean generation to view marriage as a real choice. That is some insight over there. I've never actually thought of it in like an age or generation kind of viewpoint. But yes, now because of the economic environment and because of like Western values too, and also individualism and whatever, like we are more like a collective society, a patriarchal society, a labor-based society, agricultural society, which like having a baby was just a thing to do, like a normal thing to do. Like there was no choice in that. But now like we're a new generation, which is, I guess, taking into account for our low birth rate. But can we blame ourselves? That's his message as well too. It's optional, and we our respects. Our RM says he respects all these choices. I respect all the choices too. You know, how you shove down like you got to be married, you got to have a baby when the environment is not supporting it. Like if you're getting those kind of looks at like companies for taking maternal leave, and if there's not like you can't even buy a house and you can't even afford diapers and milk, like how are you gonna? Yeah, and everybody's sending their kids to English kindergartens and academies for that. Like that's crazy, right? So yeah, I mean, if you want to see his actual video, here it is.
그러니까 다들 요새 약간
Let me go get my pizza.
그리고 사실 뭐 현실적인 부분들도 있고 특히 여성분들은 또 아이나 이런 여러 가지 문제가 있어서 다들 약간 사회나 미디어가 좀 계속 프레셔를 주는 것 같은데, 압박을 주는 것 같은데 그냥 자기 쪼대로 살았으면 좋겠어. 뭐 정답은 없는 것 같아요. 그냥 뭐 제가 생각했을 때 결국 혼자 있는 시간이 잘 못 견디면 이 결혼을 한다고 이게 약간 나아질까? 왜냐면 또 결혼하면은 또 혼자 있고 싶은 게 있잖아. 사람이 간사하니까. 그래서 좀 뭔가 혼자 있을 때도 잘 있을 수 있는 사람은 같이 있을 때도 잘 있을 수 있을 것 같고 뭐 반대도 마찬가지라서 막 제가 혼자 외로우니까 이거에 대한 그런 해결 도피 수단으로 좀 그러는 이거는
All right. So yeah, good words from RM. I totally stand by him. Marriage is now not like a required thing. It's everyone's own choice, and it's ironic coming from a Korean, which is on the brink of extinction. But it is what it is. The government should make a plan for this. So. Yeah, anyways, if you look at the comments, people are on his side. RM is right. We can worry about the birth rate, but we can't blame or argue about it. Having a child isn't the end. We have to take responsibility for raising them for at least 20 years. If you can't take responsibility, then just don't have children. Live your life however you want. Marriage and childbirth are a matter of personal choice, and no one can pressure you into it, especially when it comes to birth rates. Is having a child the end? The journey to having a child isn't easy, but the real hardship and adversity begins after birth. I don't think it's right to tell someone to have children or just get married if they think they can't take responsibility for it. It's a matter of life and death. Exactly. If a female celebrity had said something like that, I think they would have harassed her and silenced her until she retired. I'm grateful that a man said that. Yeah, yeah, and it's because RM has that intellectual image that people are actually kind of like, you know, respecting his opinion. But to be totally honest, like this is a bold take for an idol to say in Korea, where the environment's like we're having the lowest birth rate and the government's doing whatever they can, spraying money to make people have kids, and then like a BTS member, the leader, comes out and says like, oh, it's an option to have marriage, like people shouldn't just get married because they're lonely. It goes against the pushing agenda right now, the narrative right now. So it's a bold take. But the fact that a lot of people are relating to it, with myself, just shows you, like that's just how it is nowadays. I got my Jackson pizza. Woo! Yay. But respect to RM for voicing out his opinion like that and giving courage to people, or like more, I guess, like more security to people like me who aren't married, who are in the early 30s. And I wish like people like my ex-girlfriend would see that as well too. And I always felt bad. I mean, like people around me, or like friends I know, like close female friends, they're living under constant anxiety about marriage. They're like, oh, what if I don't get married by this age? Oh no, like I'm gonna run out of options. Like I gotta find someone real quick. My market value is gonna go down. Blah 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 blah. And while that might be true, like, is it going to help if you have that mindset? I don't know. I don't know. I can't speak on it so easily because it's their problem and I'm not a female, and they always snap back at me when I say this. They're like, "Oh, you're a guy though. Like you can go up to 40." But like as I always said, there are prerequisites for guys to marry a desirable, person in their 40s as well too. Like we got to get rich unless that happens, and we got to maintain ourselves. If that those aren't the conditions, then like a guy in his late 30s or 40s, if we are to argue about market value, is like the lowest of the pyramid. See, like it's the same. So yeah, good for RM for bringing this up. And like, he's not anti-marriage or anything. He's just pro-choice and timing, right? We got to get that straight. He said like he wanted to get married. He thought of himself getting married at this point in the past too. I thought of that too as well. But like society has changed. Well, what are we gonna do about it? And I guess like for him, like I guess it doesn't apply for the economic reasons. Like of course, like he's gonna be able to take care of his baby, but like for the normal people, ordinary people out there, economic situations are a big thing that is even on top of this whole like pro-choice kind of situation. So it's even harder. Yeah, but anyways, yeah. I mean, freedom is important. Values are changing. Cost of living, housing, career, everything weighs in when you're thinking about marriage. And it also, and at the end of the day, I think it all just bottoms down to like if you met the right person or not. I really don't like the culture of Korea saying like you marry the person who you met during that time. You know what I'm saying? Like some people don't end up marrying even though they dearly love each other and they know they're meant for each other, but because they're not in the right time frame. But like even if you have lingering feelings on your first love or that partner, you marry someone in your 30s or like late 20s just because you met that person at that time and that point. I don't like that culture and that saying being normalized and being talked as the truth. I think that should be shattered. Like if you don't think this person is a perfect match for you, I guess like marriage is about like sacrifice and you can't be 100% satisfied. But if you have a person that you know that could be better than this person, or you don't like these kind of things with this person, and you have a better experience with like an ex, you can't go back to the ex. Maybe if that person is available, why not? But like if you know that maybe this isn't like the best thing I could do better, then maybe you could like extend it for a while. But like people just get FOMO'd in and pressured in so much because like the society's telling you to, you have to go now. It's now or never. Do you think you're gonna meet a better person like this? Like, I just think that approach it's wrong. It's just not good. And Snail, thank you for the $10. Thank you for the hippo and the chair emoji. Yeah, thank you so much. It's called the taxi can theory. You just marry someone because you guys just conveniently met. Exactly. I don't like that. I don't like that. Yeah. Okay. So anyways, let me introduce you to that brutal show where they like grade women like meat and munch on my pizza. 솔로 정보회사. Yeah. This is crazy, bro. And the comments are even crazier. It's wild. I don't think they would have English subtitles, but let me try to put up like, what do you call them? Auto-generated subtitles. So this is the show. It's from the ENA channel. It's called 솔로 정보회사. That means singles information company. It means like matchmaking company. And this thumbnail says, "Oh, the characteristics of a mid-30s girl that wasn't able to marry." That's the real thumbnail over there. Characteristics of a mid-30s girl that wasn't able to marry. This thumbnail says, "Women, the best trait for them is being young and pretty." I've watched both of these. And it's like, this guy that has 3.5 mil and he owns a house that is 3.5 mil, and he's a testosterone guy. And this guy who lives in a 4.5 mil, but it's chonse, it's a lease, and he's estrogen guy. And this thumbnail says, "We don't meet people under 180 centimeters." And they're like 173 and 170. Okay, I guess that's justifiable. But anyways, like this is like the hottest thing over here nowadays. It's got 800k views. Okay, let's show you that. I think this is probably gonna get flagged, but oh, why is Mr. Beast popping up? Okay, but here goes nothing. If it gets flagged, I'm gonna cut it out from the final version of this stream because it's gonna get copystriked. And yeah, but anyways, let me try to put the auto-generated captions on so that maybe you can get the gist of what they're saying. It's not moving over here. I'm sorry. You'll just have to cope with that. I don't know why it's not moving over there. Wait a sec. Maybe it's because it's stuck. Oh, but it's because it's too big. Wait, captions. How do I like how do I make it centered? Okay, well you'll just have to deal with that. That's the best I can do. Yep. This is a I have to admit though, it is pretty entertaining because it's sensational, you know? You munch on my pizza. 잘 먹겠습니다. 13 minutes. So what she said, the translation was off, but she wants someone who earns more than 80k as salary, and she wants a profession like being a lawyer, accountant, all those doctor, and she looks at height now. What she said right now is like the girl said her hobby is travel, and the consultant is like males don't like that as a hobby because it seems as if you spend a lot of money and you don't have any kind of economic standards. Well, when you're is her name in Korean, 성령, okay? It's not actually Holy Spirit. That's a weird translation. But what the consultant is saying, a marriage is a risk for a guy, but you yourself is a bigger risk because you have a hobby of traveling. And she says she travels 2 or 3 times a year, and that's like millions of won every single. She's actually grading her parents as well too. Her parents and family is grade 2. 2 points. That means it's just like, I guess, ordinary household. And then next to there is like her diploma, what kind of university she graduated. I'm assuming it's not so up there, so it's like a 2 point as well too. So every kind of thing is graded, and we'll see the final report.
그리고 결혼 역량 점수가 1점이에요.
너무 높네요.
So 결혼 역량 means like how compatible you are with marriage, and that was like about the traveling and your lifestyle and stuff. So
등급은 2등급.
she got an E, a E rank, A B C D E, F. See?
평균에서 낮은 쪽이지.
The girl just said like there isn't a single high score in your speculations, in your specs.
높지 않단 말이에요.
She's 33, so she's the same age as me.
그래서 인데 남자를 선택을 할 때 뭐 키도 180이어야 되고 연봉도 좀 있어야 되고 그런 얘기를 했잖아요. 경제력, 키, 나이, 전문직.
So apparently she can't sacrifice out of all those things. The guy has to be a professional job, like a doctor, lawyer, accountant, or whatever.
이 청결하신 분이면 좋을 것 같고
네.
경제력도 솔직히 저랑은 비슷했으면 좋겠어요. 나이도 이제 저랑 비슷했으면 좋겠고
네.
그리고 뭐 집안 환경이라든지 이런 살아가는 라이프 스타일 같은 게 좀 저랑 비슷했으면 담배는 좀 안 폈으면 좋겠고.
Wow, if you look at that, oh my gosh. So she wants someone with good looks, good financials, similar age, nice family, okay lifestyle, and doesn't smoke. That's what a hexagon is.
담배
Oh, maybe I should meet her. She's right next door.
일단 집값이 비싸죠.
See, this consultant's like, where do you live? And she's like, Mapo. And what's the ownership? Do you own it or do you rent it? And she's like, oh, I have a house. And she's like, oh yeah, you own a house in an expensive place. So she's evaluating her already.
여기는 보라님 자체가 따지는 게 많다.
Oh, she literally just said in your face like you are picky. The fact that you met 300 people and you didn't get anybody out of it, and you're
만나고 맞춰 나가는 거거든요.
한두 개가 맞아.
that's actually some solid advice. Like if you meet a person and you have 10 indicators and you're like, oh, 2 of them are compatible with me, then you have to meet that person and give that person an opportunity and see if the other 7 or 6 green flags comply or not. But like because she just like weeds out everybody by the fact that that person's not perfect, like she's never gonna get a person. This girl is a C over here. Can you imagine? This girl is a C. Who gets a B? The people who get B or A are people under 30. You saw she immediately gave her like a 3 point only for her age. That's where you need to get the extra points. But despite she has good financials, good family, all that, she got a C.
나오셨어요. 되게 높으신 거예요.
오, 신나오기
되게
쉽지
높으신
않습니다.
거예요.
Oh my god, look at that report card. Oh my god.
보면 집안도 일단 좋으시고 직업도 되게 좋으시고.
See, like how they have the MBTI over there and blood type? Height, weight, blood type, and MBTI, religion. Oh my gosh, maybe I should meet her.
보면 집안도 일단 좋으시고 직업도 되게 좋으시고
네네.
외모도 좀 괜찮으시고.
Okay, let's go on into the other girl that everyone thought was pretty. Oh, Who's this?
나는 솔로 20.
Well, let's go on to the girl that people think. No, actually, let's go back and see the comments. So the comments were pretty brutal. If you look at the comments over there, what they're saying. Oh, there's no answer for number 1 and number 2. I think I'll just have to live alone. It means like they're never gonna get married. The first woman was young and had a lot of fun, but now that she's older, she wants to get a job as a full-time housewife and live off money her husband earns, traveling and using her Instagram to live her life. It's obvious from a man's perspective, she's a landmine bomb. The problem is this isn't a joke, they're serious. A professional man who is over 180 centimeters and has a Ha Jung-woo's face but is old enough to play around and has no money. The drama is so good. Yeah, like, people are literally just annihilating these people. Number 1 has no ability but is arrogant. Number 2 comes from good family, so she's arrogant, but her personality seems to be extraordinary, so it's suffocating. Number 2, if you met 300 people through the decision maker, you would have met as many men as possible who met your qualifications. You need to realize you have a problem. Blah, 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 blah. Look at all these comments. I would never go on this show, but I don't know why these people go on this show. Maybe they pay them a lot, but
나는 솔로.
let me go to the hot girl that professionals like. Let's see this one. I'm almost done with my pizza, so this is gonna be the last one. We see. Okay.
여기까지 오지 않아도 벌써 채가 쓸 것 같은데.
아니요.
Men don't prefer women over 35. That's when they start to dislike them.
나이 상관없이 남자분들이 다 만나려고 할 것 같다는 생각이 좀 들어서. 그러니까 저희가 뭐 외모
But she says like with her appearance, age wouldn't matter.
사람은 아니지만.
So she's pretty
그래도
being objective, I would say.
많겠다. 그럼 진짜 인기가 많아요. 결혼생.
Wait.
그리고
Ryan, I gotta put you on the spot. You prefer Nuance all of a sudden because you saw this girl, right? not her, but like you.
생각을 하고
She
있었거든요.
thinks she's gonna get a 20. Okay.
이 정도 나올 수
D 정도.
있는
야, 우리 그 차 선생님이 D 이러면서
She thinks she's gonna get a D.
어차피 내 짝이 다 있으니까.
Okay.
그러니까 애초에 이제
Let's go into the report card.
마음을 다 쓴 거죠. 네, 전
잘했어.
희성님의 비주얼에
Okay, she wants a guy. She wants a guy that looks like this
센스.
with humor.
동갑이나 아래 위로 2살 이 정도로 선호를 했었는데 지금은 별로 상관이 없어진 것 같아요. 왜냐면 제가 나이가 별로 적지가 않으니까 이게 점점 움츠러드는
인터뷰를 좀 하다 보면 느끼는 게
So now she feels that she's old, so she doesn't really care about age anymore.
자기 존중감이 메타인지 능력자분들이 보통 메타인지 능력부터 저 연하 만날래요.
So the consultant is actually complimenting her, saying normally people that come here and says like, oh, I want to meet like people similar to my age or younger than me, they don't have a clue. Like they don't have a chance with those kind of people. But like for her, like her appearance is good, and the fact that she says like I don't care about age is like a plus point.
자기 객관화가 안 되신 분들이 나를 좀 너무 높게 보고 상대방을 너무 낮게 본다거나 36이어도 사실 메타인지가 안 돼서 못하는 거지 내가 36이어도 나 좀 괜찮을까요? 그러고 약간 이런 마인드로 만나게 되면 오히려 더 잘 돼요. 그래서 제가 수아님을 보면서 36인데 이래 이 얘기를 딱 들으면서 와 수아님은 시집 보낼 수 있겠다 금방 그 생각이 들었어요.
나도
Yeah, she's very she's very like positive towards her getting married because like the fact that she doesn't, care about age from a guy.
나보다 키가 커야 된다 뭐 이런 게 있어요?
네, 저보다 키가 컸으면 좋겠고 항상 키 큰 남자친구를 만났었어요. 180은 됐으면 좋겠어요.
See, I'm telling you, every girl in Korea wants a guy to be over 180. But like, if you look at the stats, the average height of a Korean guy is like 173 or something. So it's very hard to be over 180, to be honest. I'm 180, so I'm like actually happy with my height.
180이라는 숫자가 사실 우리나라에 그렇게 많지가 않아요.
저 184예요.
축하드려요.
아주 겸손하게 반납을 잘하네. 어디가 그렇게 가르쳐?
직업이나 뭐 이런 것도 보시나요?
프리랜서다 보니까 아무래도 조금 안정적인 직업을 가진 분이었으면 좋겠어요.
그 연봉이나
So she's a freelancer and she wants someone with a stable job.
이런 것도 따지시는 게 어느 정도 있나요?
저보다는 당연히 많았으면 좋겠어요.
오.
다다익선.
She wants someone who earns more than her.
외모 나이가
Look at that number just coming at you. Age.
2점.
2 points for age. Oh my gosh. Uh-oh, this is not starting good. Like, she's 36. Wow, so her appearance would be a 5, but because of the fact that she's over 170 and that's like kind of a burdensome height for a lot of men, there was a minus point for that. Wow, I didn't even think of that because I prefer tall women, but that could actually be burdensome for a lot of guys. Wow, okay. An apartment in Incheon because Seoul apartment prices were too high.
어느 정도 됐는지
1억 미만이요.
그러면 그 정도
So it was under 500K for her to buy a house in Incheon.
하고 대출도 혹시 있으신 거죠?
네네, 대출.
그럼 신장한
She has a loan. It's about 300K per year.
체력을
No, no,
하려면
what is it? No. 30K.
어쩌냐면 첫 번째가 좀 욕심이 좀 있으세요.
Oh, she's big greedy. That's why her marriage score is a little low. Okay.
첫 번째가 공감 능력 쪽에서 살짝 좀
She scores lower in terms of empathy.
점수가 낮아요. 총 점수는 16.5점이고
Wow, she got a 16.5?
네네.
D등급 나왔어요.
Oh my Oh my god.
D등급 나왔어요.
왜? 아니 처음에 뭐 난리 났더만요.
Whoa. Oh, she even graduated. Ah, okay. Okay, she's an ENTP. Okay.
남자의 시각은 이 객관적인 점수하고 달라요. D는 나왔지만 점수는 되게 높은데 어떤 분들은 제가 이거를 피드백을 하는 분이 있고 이 점수가 D등급이지만 제가 별다른 피드백을 안 하잖아요. 그 이유가 다른 게 아니라 남자들이 보는 시선이 다르기 때문에.
다르니까.
여성들한테 바라는 게 사실 나이하고 외모라고 하지만 사실 외모 나이예요. 사실 더 정확하게. 외모가 중간이면 사실 객관적인 나이는 남자들에게 보여지지 않아요.
마지막 뭐 나 조수하는 뭐 이런 사람이에요.
Yeah, she just said like actually age doesn't really matter that much as long as you look young.
어필 한번 해주세요.
일단 굉장히 재미있는 성격이라 가지고 장난이나 뭐
Okay, anyways, that was that. If you look at what the comments are saying. You say you don't want anything, but you want too much. There are many men who wants to mess with you, but no one wants to take responsibility. The problem isn't just looking at height, just do it moderately. Yeah, I think this is valid too. If a 173 woman wants to be with a 180 guy, that's no problem, I would say. It's a world where people openly say they're looking for a man who will feed them and make them happy all while enjoying themselves. The more I listen to it, the more it sounds like the ideal type of man is I want someone who's perfect. Seems like the only perfect man in Korea is a celebrity. There must be Chaonu, Park Bogum, and Kongyu. A plastic surgery face is cheating. If you have a child, they'll be born with the same face as before plastic surgery. There really isn't a single woman on TV who hasn't had a nose job. Oh my god, these people. Oh, okay, guys. So you got the gist of it, right? So this is why people are pressured and don't want to get married from both sides, okay? Oh my gosh. How do you get a 500K house making 30K a year? You get massive loans. She just said she got a loan of like 300K, and she has her own assets of like 200K. She makes 30K per year. Yeah, 30K. Age would matter the most to someone who wants to have more than one kid. Exactly. I don't even know who got, like, if anyone got like a B or A. B or A. 솔로 정보에서 A 등급. I'm actually curious if anybody got an A. I'm looking if anybody actually got an A, but I'm Googling right now, but I can't see. Oh, there's this video saying like the first A ever. And it's a guy. Okay, you want to see a guy? Like one last bit? So like apparently
나이가 지금
this is the first A guy ever. Oh wow, okay, let's see what an A guy is and like end the stream. All right? I'm into this. I'm hooked. I'm going to compare myself to this guy and see what an A is. Okay. Let's go.
몇 살이시죠?
33살입니다. 수아
He's 33, same age as me. Okay.
씨 삽니다.
Wait.
의사.
연봉은 국어공의대학교 한의학과 석사.
Oh, he's a medicine doctor, a Korean medicine doctor. Okay. He gets 500 million won per year. Whoa.
종교 없습니다. 77.
77.
네.
부동산이나 이제 투자하신 게 있으세요?
뭐 지금 주식 정도 하고 있고
스톡.
얼마 정도?
지금 5억 정도.
What?
아파트 같은 것도 혹시 뭐
He has a lot in stocks.
네, 분양권 지금.
He has an apartment too. Oh my gosh.
쪽에
병원은 어떻게 대출이 좀 많이 있죠?
대출 없습니다.
오,
His hospital that he owns doesn't even have a loan.
오 대출 없어요?
네.
대출 없이 지금 1년 만에 다 이거를 다 갚으신 거예요?
애초에 근데 대출 없이 그냥 뭐 부모님도 좀 도와주시고.
Okay, his parents helped him out for. Says you always have to be on the wife's side when there's a conflict between mother and wife. That's a big thing in English. That's wrong.
결혼할 생각이
It means like he's at the marriage age.
아, 나는 불도저처럼 쭉 밀고 나갈 것이다.
네.
점수를 공개를 좀 해드릴게요.
Oh my gosh.
사정, 외모, 사정, 재산.
Age 4. Okay, so I have good age points. I'm okay. I'm good okay yet. Like 33. His appearance is like 4. Okay. I mean, I've seen better, but 4. Okay.
5점. 연봉
Okay. Wealth points 5.
5점. 또
Salary 5.
지금도 5점. 학력
Family background is 5. That's interesting because his father was a civil servant. I guess like that's the it's a stable job and they don't have to worry about retirement.
4점.
네.
Okay, his education point is 4? He graduated med school. What are you talking about? Maybe it's because it's not Sky. He was from Gyeonggi University, so he only got a 4. What?
총 점이 27점입니다. 등급은
Wow, he got 27 points. Remember that other girl, the pretty girl that got 16.7?
요 정말 유일하게 A 등급 나오셨어요.
Only person who got an A in this program is this guy.
아니 왜 감사해요.
Wow.
그래도 항상 뭐 점수가 높으면 좋지.
Okay, well, that's the A guy you're looking at over there. Well, I mean, whoa, this is his report card. Whoa, okay, look at that. Look at his report card. 93. Oh, he's 1 year younger than me. Oh, so this was filmed this year, maybe. Wow. Korean medical doctor has, wow, millions. 177 on the tall side. 71. He works out probably. I have same blood type as him at least. ESTJ 445554. Wow. Age, appearance, net worth, salary, family, and education. A. Oh my gosh. Okay, that guy. I mean, that profile pic already is an A. But let's look at this other guy. I don't know. Like, okay. I'm just gonna skip all of that and go straight to his report card. Yeah. Can we see his report card? I don't think they show his report card. Anyways, let's look at some comments, what they're saying. Yeah, never mind. Oh, this was a re-upload, so it doesn't have that many comments. But anyways, David Kim bodies these dude. Ah. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, bro. He's a solid B. Even though he's a doctor? David needs to go on the show. I'm gonna get slammed back and forth. Yeah, like the moment I say my occupation is a YouTuber, I'm gonna get like a 1 point or something. Yeah. Can you tell us the name of the show? It's called 솔로 정보회사. Let me type it in for you. 솔로 정보회사. Yeah. There you go. This is the name of the show. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. But you see how brutal it is? But anyways, oh my gosh, still 330 people watching. Let me check. Thank you everybody for the PayPals and new follows on Daily David Kim. And I'm gonna follow RM's advice and just be content. The right person will appear. Hopefully that doesn't have a scale of those metrics. Hopefully someone can see person to person who values inner beauty more, which is very rare. Thank you, Hilda. Thank you. Do you think owning an apartment in Songdo is better choice than owning one in Seoul's 25 districts, or anywhere in Seoul is always the better choice? It depends. It depends on which district you're going for in Seoul. Like if it's anywhere in the Gangnam region, which is probably more expensive than Songdo anyways. Anywhere in the Gangnam region or the Mapo, Yongsan, Seongdong region, or anywhere near the Han River Belt, those are the preferred districts. Other than that, Songdo is not bad, but there was a lot of hype before, but nowadays they're saying like, the development over there is kind of slow and it's pretty far away, and you have restricted options to like entertainment and stuff. But if you want like a stable life, it's a nice place. It's clean and quiet. I've stayed there for a while because of the golf event, and I walked through the whole place. It's not that big, actually. You got new apartments, new office towers, and high-rise buildings and stuff, but it's pretty quiet and boring, I would say. You have everything, all the restaurants, all the shopping malls, the supermarkets, Costco's, all of that, but you can't beat Seoul, quite honestly. Yeah. Incheon... I personally don't really like Incheon that much. It's just boring, and there are better options than Incheon. Like, if you were to live in a satellite city or an adjacent city of Seoul in the Gyeonggi or Incheon province, I would live in Gyeonggi-do. Like, there's no reason for me to live in Incheon, unless I travel a lot. But yeah, Incheon's just, it's just quiet. And the only like bougie part of Incheon is like in Songdo. Other than that, Incheon's pretty like old. So in Gyeonggi, there are a lot of satellite cities that are really good, really nice to live in. I've been to a lot of them. Hanam is good. Also, where is it? My friend used to live there. Why am I forgetting all these kind of things? I forgot. Whoa. Gundam, Hangyo, Ilsan, all of them are good. The biggest thing is that they have direct lines to Seoul. Everything connects to Seoul. but they're bed towns, so like moms and families can live there happily and quietly. Yeah. Daejeon, there has nothing in Daejeon, except for the Hanwha Eagles. I wish people wouldn't grade looks on media more to a person than that. Well, I mean, yeah, you could say this is over the top, but like I've seen so many social media stuff on the Western side saying like, "Oh, I give a solid 10. I give a solid 7." I don't know why they always say solid. What does that even mean? What's the difference between a 5 and a solid 5? But yeah, you sent me a Snapchat? I don't do Snapchat though. What do you mean a Snapchat? If you mean PayPal, I'm looking through and I'm not seeing it, but yep. But it's just human nature. Sejong City is just a government town. Like yeah, it's for civil workers. Anyway, guys, yeah, it's already 3:30. Oh my gosh, this was more than I expected, but hope you had a fun one today. I am going to prepare for DK News tonight, actually, in 6 hours. No, 7 hours. Danny's going to come over and we're going to do another DK News live, more K-pop centric, so go check that one out. We're going to have a Patreon after show over there too. Speaking of Patreon, if you want exclusive additional bonus podcast on this channel, speaking about my life, Korean society, all that, go check out patreon.com/KoreanPizzaclub, and only for $5, no, actually $10, you can get the exclusive perks for podcasts. All right. So, yep, that's the URL over there. Go check it out. It was a good yapping session. Thank you for tuning in. And just to let you know, I am not sure if I'll be able to do a live stream next week because I'm going to be in the US, in New York. Probably at this time, I'm going to be at LAX. Yes. I'm going to be, oh yeah, I'm going to be on flight, actually. No, I don't know the time conversion. Actually, I'm not considering the time conversion. So, like, yeah, I'll probably be at LA airport waiting for my Air Premia flight. I'll let you know how the trip goes. Hopefully, I'm accepted into the US borders without any trouble. Kind of scared about that. But I'll have fun in New York. I'll try a lot of pizzas. If you're in New York and want to meet up, try to send me a DM. I can't guarantee, but yeah, I have a lot of plans with my friends, so maybe I have some free time or maybe a coffee. Let's try. Anyways, yeah, send me an email. An email is the best way. So, yeah, see you guys later at DKDKTV. Thank you. And USA IRL stream, not gonna happen. I don't have unlimited data over there. Imagine an in-flight stream. If only, yeah, if I had the money to pay that Wi-Fi in air. But I heard that the Wi-Fi isn't even that good on planes. Have a safe flight. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys next week. All right, go check out Daily Davy Kim. Follow me there. I'm putting out a lot of content. Take some pictures of Brooklyn. I will speak Japanese to the taxi drivers. I will, for sure. And with your PayPals, I will be conveniently cruising with Ubers. Thanks to you guys. Thank you so much for everybody who sent me PayPal. Shout out to you guys again. And see ya next time. I might do a pop live in between, but no promises. Bye.